you see, Penn State was up by 2 scores, right? Did you see the play that they ran? What's his name? Aller, their quarterback. He does a little throwback pass, and this guy tries to throw a pass back to the quarterback. You're winning by 2 scores. Why are you doing trick plays? You're winning by 2 scores. Boise State should be doing trick plays.
Yeah, because it's either you're behind, so you need a spark play, or you're the Lions and you're up by 7 touchdowns, and you're like, let's just fuck around.
Oh, with Dallas, they were trying to make it like, oh, he's going to score because last year you guys fucked us on whether he's eligible. That's different. You're up by 2 scores in the second quarter of a game, and you're kind of dominating the line of scrimmage, and you're running trick plays. You don't know what you're doing as a coach. Gentlemen and ladies, girls and boys, we're back. Danny has tragically passed away.
Yeah.
So he will no longer be on the show anymore. We have a new co-host, Andrew Rudy Zamora.
What's up?
Also known as the Tripod.
Yeah. Yep. This is episode 521, Bill?
52.
What do you see right there, Drew? 521.
521.
Our producer still sucks at his job.
What does it say now?
It is January 8th, 552 space 1.
Is it really? I don't have 1 on my end.
Yeah. I thought you put like fuck you or something. January 8th, 2025. Oh, Happy New Year, huh? New year, same Drew.
Any before that, New Year's resolution?
Yeah, but I haven't started yet. Going back to the gym, eating better,
yeah,
drinking less, and me and Drudy, I ate like shit last night. I drank, and I didn't go to the gym.
We won money last night.
We did win money at blackjack and roulette.
And the new one that we're
learning to play bubble craps.
Yeah.
You know anything about craps, Bill?
I think you roll 7 on the first roll, but then avoid 7 and 11 on the next rolls or something.
So yeah,
that.
We were looking up the basics today, but there's like a little machine. Have you seen it?
Yeah,
machine
the bubble
with the 2
one.
dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way it looked, this guy, which I think I would do, I would bet the don't pass.
Yeah, don't pass.
You bet don't pass, and then whatever it rolls. So if it rolls a 5, you want to get a 7 before the 5 gets rolled again. But if you bet the pass and it rolls a 5, you want to get a 5 before the 7.
Okay.
But you win the same amount of money, but 7's 1 out of 6 rolls. It should be a 7. So
it's not like you can put the dice in your hand a certain way, so it's not like you can do anything about it. You're just hoping.
It's all. He said the same thing today about like, I want to learn to play this, and I'm like, all those games have basically the same odds. It's just whether you're running hot or not.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's like me. I bet in roulette. It's like, oh, you cover 2/3 of the board, but it's like, yeah, but if I lose, I'm losing double the money because I bet 2 different things.
Yeah, because I saw a guy do that where he did.
Yeah, he's like, you're 80% win. It's like, well, if you have an 80% win, your loss is going to be devastating.
Yeah, that 20% loss is huge.
Yeah, because like I said, I bet the top second, third, and third, I guess is what you call it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I bet $50 on each, I only win 50 back because you get 2 to 1. But if I lose $100. So it's like, you know. Anyway, regular season's over for the NFL. It's fucking crazy how fast.
What a season!
Yeah, it's crazy how fast the season goes by, dude.
It sucks.
What the fuck?
Start with college football first, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say after that.
It's amazing how long baseball, hockey, and basketball last.
Yeah.
And then the king of sports. Maybe that's why, though. You know.
Yeah.
It's lasts so short, and everybody was waiting for it.
College football has what? Those 3 games left.
Yeah.
The 2 semifinals and the
final.
The championship.
Thursday, Friday, and then Monday the 20th.
I want to start with a question. I mean, I know Drew watches college football, but I think the playoff was awesome. I mean, you couldn't ask for, and except like Kirk Herbstreit said, unless you jammed Michigan in there somehow, you got Penn State, Notre Dame, Texas, and Ohio State. It's literally 4 of the top 10 brands in college football. Not that it matters, but in terms of excitement.
Yeah, I mean, my only thing is I just didn't like the first round because all the first round, like every team that
was favored,
they fucking won by double digits.
Yeah, which
they started up with what, 10?
12.
So I think maybe 10 would have been probably better.
8. I think 8's the best because 10's kind of weird. Because then what? How would you do that? 2 teams get a bye, or would that even work like that?
No, because you go.
Then you'd have 6. Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, you go from 8 to 4, and then you have 6. Yeah, so they have to 2 buys.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so probably 8 then.
8.
I think 8 is
8 or 12 is perfect. Yeah. I like 12 because if you look at it, Arizona State should have beat Texas. That no targeting call was the most bullshit thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Boise State was right there against Penn State. They scored a touchdown to make it like a 7 or 6 point game, but they got a penalty on the play, but they were in the game. Notre Dame beats Georgia, which I'm sick of hearing because Cam Newton said that no one wants to see Notre Dame in the playoff because they don't ever win any big games. Obviously, a different head coach, it's a whole different situation. But they're like, they didn't have their starting quarterback. And then Ryan Clark talked about how we were missing like our J.J. Watt of our defensive line, Benjamin Morrison. We're missing our starting running back, who's top 2, top 3 running back in the country, is literally playing at 50%. And they're like, yeah, but the quarterback. And I'm like, oh, I thought these SEC schools were so fucking good and had so much talent that it wouldn't have mattered anyway. And
they said the backup to Georgia was actually a higher rated recruit than Carson Beck and Riley Leonard.
Carson Beck.
He is better than Carson Beck.
I don't know. Something about that guy's face just annoys me.
Carson Beck?
Yeah.
He's hideous. My only problem is like I said, that kid didn't get a bunch of reps, but Carson Beck is not a very good quarterback. He has experience, but like he sucks. What happened was Notre Dame, we got a helmet on a football at the one drive where they fumbled. We strip sacked, and we dominated the line of scrimmage, which you wouldn't have thought would have happened, but Carson Beck wasn't making up for all, you know what I mean? Like, we returned a kick for a touchdown.
I mean, the guy threw an absolute dot, and their player caused a penalty.
Right.
Carson Beck
wouldn't have saved that. He probably would have, because he would have thrown the ball 10 yards over the guy's head, and it would have been incomplete. But anyway, yeah, we start tomorrow. Notre Dame, it's kind of bouncing around between
Cam Newton, he's irrelevant.
all these guys, these SEC guys.
Have you ever looked at Cam Newton's stats in his pro career?
He was electric, but he sucked.
He had 2 years where you could say like he was a top quarterback. Every other year it was like 18 passing touchdowns to 15 interceptions.
Yeah, the thing is with him is the rushing, which helped, but he wasn't like a Lamar Jackson type of runner. Like, it wasn't like he was that dynamic where it's like, I want you on my team.
Overall touchdown to overall turnover ratio was like 1.5 to 1.
Yeah, it's not
Lamar
great.
Jackson's is 4 to 1.
That guy this year, we're gonna get into the MVP talk and the awards because
That's a close one.
it is.
But
It just goes to me like Lamar had. I mean, here's the thing:
Here's my thing:
they only lost one more game than the Bills. But I look at MVP very literally. If you took Lamar off of the Ravens are a good franchise in general. They probably win 5, 6, 8 games. If you take Josh Allen off the Bills, I think they literally win less than 5 games. I think 5 games is pushing it. They lost to the Patriots with Mitchell Trubisky. I know a couple guys weren't
playing. The Bills had
a
stat where they had no player with, like, no offensive player with more than and on Pro Bowl, which is weird because James Cook actually tied Derrick Henry.
He should have been in the Pro Bowl.
He should have been in the Pro Bowl for sure.
oh yeah, he hooped for me.
He was my running back too.
Yeah.
My running back won, but my running back also. But yeah.
And if you just compare the teams with Ravens and Buffalo,
but
Baltimore has a better defense.
Yeah.
They have a better offense.
Better head coach.
Better head coach, yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is the Ravens had the most turnover in free agency. Like, they lost 3 offensive linemen, which I was like, and, they replaced them.
Yeah, they're a good franchise, though.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they are a better they've had consistency for years.
Decades. They won a Super Bowl in 2000. They won one in the 2010s. They've been the 1 seed or the 2 seed, or they won the division so many. And the AFC North, too. They're not winning the AFC South. It's the Buffalo Bills had 0 running backs, receivers, or tight ends in the Pro Bowl, and they average nearly 32 points a game.
That's crazy.
Like I said, James Cook should have been in the Pro Bowl. He was fantastic. But if you showed like the top 10 plays of the Bills season, at least 8 or 9 of them would be Josh Allen doing heroics.
And you can't really say Amari because he was hurt for a lot of it, but...
And he also did come to the team. He's not, like I said, you don't get Amari Cooper and you're like that. Like, it's like a trade for Bruce Brown in the NBA. We're like, oh, that was huge for them in the playoffs. He made some plays, but you're not looking at it like they traded for Tank.
I'd say it's more like a Michael Porter Jr. I'm just going to stay with the Nuggets, or like a Drew Holiday or Derek White.
I meant in terms of trades, yeah, but
you would be like that. But it's not a Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. It's like a Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase.
I don't know, because he's a little older and he's good in certain, but like I said, with football too, there's the gelling you need. Like, him as a player is good, but you put him on a team with a guy he's never played with before, and Josh Allen's on all the off-script plays. It's like, I mean, I don't know how well.
I mean, they did an off-script play themselves within that snow game.
That was fantastic.
And they asked Amari because he went from 18 targets to 0 the next game, and he's like, I'm just here to win. And it's like, how refreshing as a team is that to hear from Stephon Diggs, just wants the ball, and then a 75-yard bomb he drops in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, and then you got guys like Tyreek Hill who were on a team that's been in the Super Bowl 3-4 times in the last 5 years. He left
because of who?
Yeah,
because of that fucking quarterback.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying he left and wanted to go to Miami because of whatever, and now he said he wanted out of Miami. Then they had a good talk yesterday, and he doesn't want traded. And it's like, dude, you look like such a fucking asshole.
And Mike McDonald said I let him know, Mike McDaniel, yeah,
Okay.
said, I let him know, though, that not going in the game is
Guy's
not.
hungry or what?
Who? McDonald. No, that's the coach of the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's exactly. But I let him know that going in won't happen again. It's like, so you're the parent where it's like, if you show up late again, you're going to be grounded, and then you let him do it again.
I saw a thing today that a bunch of players on the Dolphins were late to meetings all the time. No fines were handed out. I mean, you got to stop the players from running the asylum.
I mean, you look at Dan Campbell and look at Mike McDaniel, and it's like, but it's not like you have to be a former player or this big, like,
rah guy,
like, and anything like that for people to respect you.
You just got to be a coach.
I mean, Pete Carroll was an older dude, like, and it's like the people still seem to respect him and everything like that.
Yeah, of course. It's just a thing of accountability, and your best players have to. Name me a leader on the Dolphins that you think, like, Amon-Ra St. Brown is out there when it's 42-10. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, they have Amon-Ra St. Brown is out there when it's 42-10. What's the kid's name? Azaloni or something? The linebacker. He's got a plate in his forearm like 3 weeks ago. He was out. He was their best player besides Gibbs, who had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was guarding T.J. Hawkinson one-on-one, and you would have thought before the game, I was like, Hawkinson's gonna have a big night. That guy shut him the fuck down. But they have players who come out and do that type of shit. And
St. Brown run blocks. You think Tyreek Hill or
I was just gonna say it was 42-10 in a game, and they asked St. Brown to come out, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm out there for my guys," and he's out there pancaking people in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left. That's not just something that you just, I'm going to start doing it. You have it or you don't, and it's a part of you or it's not. Tyreek Hill, you're very fast. You're, very good receiver, but
my favorite part was he said, "Getting out of here is what's best for my family, not breaking my child's arm or cheating on my wife and getting 18 women pregnant.
Yeah,
that's not best for my family."
I think they said he had more kids this year than touchdowns or something.
I saw a stat like that.
Well, it's funny because he just got married, and then you find out 3 other women are pregnant. It's like, wait,
how does that work?
Where's the math on that?
I mean, I will say it's a pretty sweet deal for him. Yeah. I would trade lives with him.
I mean, do you know how many max contracts he needs to keep those lifestyles of?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, he'll be fucking broken, probably dead in the next 15 years.
And that'll be somebody else's fault. When he got pulled over, it was somebody else's fault.
Yeah, like I said, with that situation, it's like half and half. But there's somebody at my work, the place of business. They're always in a situation. At a certain point, it's your problem.
My thing is that I think I agree that one cop was an asshole.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But you would never face that cop if you weren't speeding.
Right, exactly.
So if you were just driving normal, you don't have to you put yourselves in situations.
Or if you, like I said, I know the guy, I can't remember how it started. I think I was banging on his window first, but it's like, you can look back at yourself and say, there's ways I could do, yes, I could have went about it better.
But the thing is, the guy doesn't have to tap on your window if you're not speeding.
Right, no, exactly. I'm with you.
You got in the car and were like, I'm Tyreek Hill, I can drive wherever I want to.
Yeah, and then, people are like, you know who that is? And it's like, I mean, so if he's just raping someone, it's because of who he is. That's like, like at a certain point, like, okay, that's different. It's like, well, no, I mean, it's breaking the law.
Either.
Like I said, I'm not a cop or a fan of, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of cops, but I'm not a fan of, like people who have a badge, like flexing their muscles. But at the same time, last night we drove by a cop, and it's like, well, I wasn't speeding. I used my blinker and stopped at a stop sign, and they went their way, and I went my way.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking speed by and then be like, oh, this guy. It's like, well, yeah. I mean,
Kyle sent me this video of this car was leaving a bar.
Oh yeah, he sent me that.
And then there was a cop on the other side of the.
Have you seen that?
And they're just kind of staring, and the car just reverses.
I'm just gonna go back to the bar.
Who moves first?
Yeah. I was like, I hope he called an Uber immediately after that.
But at that point, though, I mean, he wasn't doing anything wrong, I guess. But couldn't the cop could have
followed him at least.
People have gotten DUIs in their driveway.
Yeah. Oh, I know a few people who probably should have had one, but we saved their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But quickly with the college football, so Notre Dame's favored by what's back down to 1.5. I right away bet the money line at 125. It's back to 125. Like we've talked about, you bet favorites early because normally, people like our uncle Alec will go the day of the game and bet favorites and overs is kind of the thing. So you want to bet favorites early, dogs late. It's back to 1.5. I personally, obviously, I think 45. It's weird because I think 45 is a high. I don't think these teams will combine for 45 points, but I do kind of see a game where it could go over 45 if that makes sense. But with that being said, I'm going to take Notre Dame. I think before, I can't remember who we all took all the way through. I know I took Tennessee against Ohio State, but I'm going to take Notre Dame and Ohio State to go to the final.
Yeah, we had Penn State losing to Boise State.
We all did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, this playoff, I liked it a lot. The whole thing was Alabama didn't get in. They lost to Michigan in their bowl game. At least Ole Miss came out and dick stomped Duke. So it's like, we can say oh sweet, we beat them by 50. They lost to whoever in the playoff by 20. I know math doesn't math, but
That just shows me they could beat like a team like SMU or something like
they
that.
would have
like,
won.
That's
They
cool.
might have won a game in the playoff, but they weren't.
But it doesn't show me that but maybe not. If they played Ohio State in the first round.
You know what showed me that you didn't deserve to be there? The 12 games you played and you lost a quarter of them.
Yeah.
That showed me you didn't deserve to be there. It is what it is. SMU, they got beat up by Penn State, and I know it's easy to say, but their quarterback threw the first pick he threw. After that, he was fucked. But if that play, he would have just ran for the first down. Could have been a different game. Obviously, every game could be different. I think SMU deserved to be in based on their year. Boise almost beat Penn State. Arizona State should have beat Texas. That no target. I said it earlier. I don't know if you were really listening, but that no targeting call in Texas. I've never seen that happen before, where the targeting was that blatant. They went and reviewed it.
If that's not targeting, I don't know what is.
Right. Scadaboo, fucking that guy's unbelievable.
That guy's a dog.
And then
but that's the whole conference champions get the automatic bye thing. It's like Arizona State and Boise State weren't a top 4 team.
Yeah.
That's why they got beat.
Right. I agree that I think it should be shifted to where, first of all, I think those teams should get a home game. That's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
They get a bye. Like Oregon, like I know it's the Rose Bowl, whatever, but like you get a bye, then you have to play at a neutral site. Like that's really weird to me because Ohio State got a home game. Notre Dame got a home game.
Yeah, and they're ranked lower.
Penn State got a home game. And who was the other team? Texas got a home game.
Yeah, like Notre Dame played Georgia in a neutral site.
Yeah, then we got Georgia at a neutral site, and it's like, I mean, it was in New Orleans, but like that should be at Georgia's house, I think.
But it's neutral even if it was in Georgia because the way the tickets are set up, too.
Yeah, I don't agree
how
with
you
that.
release them and everything.
Did we get to do that with Indiana?
Yeah, it was a home game technically, so we got to hold the tickets.
No, that's what I'm saying. They didn't get the same ticket distribution as we did with Georgia.
No.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I'm a Notre Dame fan. I think we should have played in Georgia, and they should have got like a sold out home game for Georgia.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like the Texas A&M in the first game of the year.
That's why, because people like Cam Newton and them like, I'm not saying that they didn't, but and it's like they played a backup quarterback. It's like, dude, just take it for what it is. They're still there. You said they didn't deserve to be there, and they're one of the last 4 teams. Clearly, they deserve to be there. You could just like me, like I said, I'm a Notre Dame fan. We won the game. I could be like, not even say it. I think we should have played in Georgia. I think that's only fair to them. Why would they not get a home game in the playoff? That doesn't make any sense to me. Mm-hmm. Dude, I like college. I feel like when they get to neutral sites, it makes it less like college football feely. You know what I mean? Like the Super Bowl doesn't feel like the game itself is obviously incredible, but the fans, it's like it's all business people and it's all millionaires. Like it's not
like
really
it's like WrestleMania,
it's
where it's just like celebrities and all this stuff like that. Like I feel like it just feel like it's just pro wrestling. Like who
the way
cares?
I put it, the NBA Finals last year, whether it was one in Boston, like last night, even Boston in Denver, you were hearing "Let's Go Celtics" chants like roaring through that place. If they played the NBA Finals in Las Vegas, like you don't get that same atmosphere in Boston when they went on their home floor and they're celebrating with that's I don't know. I agree the championship game, I guess, because I know all these companies pay huge money. You can't really say, oh, we're gonna have the championship in fucking Notre Dame Stadium, but it's like you could do that and give them like half the tickets, whatever. But I think Georgia, like I said, Georgia, Oregon, Boise State, and Arizona State. It's like, so you won your conference, you got to bye. The other 4 teams got a home game and you don't. That's I don't know. I don't like that part of it, but I think the 12 teams deserve to be there. This playoff has been sick.
I think 4 is too little, and clearly, at least this year, 12 was too many. But I think 12 is a sweet spot because I think 8's not enough either.
Well, who would have been 9? Fucking SMU is 11.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think 12's cool. I think the way they did it is perfectly fine in terms of like the one thing is the teams who got the bye getting like 4 weeks off. Kind of like Oregon didn't play in like 3 weeks, which kind of sucks. But
Notre Dame did the same thing though.
Right. But nonetheless, I got Notre Dame. I'm assuming you're going to take Notre Dame.
I got Notre Dame over Penn State.
Yeah. I was very shocked that the line was this because this was the same line as the Georgia game. And I was very scared at the beginning of that Georgia game because their linemen, I don't think Penn State has the girth that those guys, that Georgia has.
Well, that's what people are trying to say. You saw what the Penn State defensive line did to Genty, but it's like Boise State's offensive line compared to...
It doesn't, yeah, right.
Like
a defensive line doesn't do something to a running back. A defensive line does something to an offensive line.
Yeah, the Boise State offensive line compared to the Notre Dame offensive line are 2 different offensive lines.
And
that's the whole thing.
I'm not saying Riley Leonard's a fucking, Joe Burrow, but at the same time, that dude's a gamer. I mean, that run with the fucking flip for the first down, he can make. People are like, "Oh, he can't make throws." It's like, I mean, he definitely can make throws. It's just a matter of our offense. We don't play LSU 2019 LSU offense. That's not how we play. We're smash mouth. Who you got there? And don't make the wrong choice because you're in a room with 2 Notre Dame fans. No, but really, do you think? I mean, I don't know how much of Penn State shit you've watched, but
I really don't watch like a lot of college football, but because how much did Penn State win by Boise State?
14, I think.
14, but it was a little shaky
Oh,
towards
yeah.
the second half, right?
Yeah, well, so Boise scored a touchdown to make it a 7-point game, but they got a penalty for like illegal man downfield or something, and then I think they missed a field goal and the game. You know what I mean? It was over after that.
I think they had the ball somewhere and they went for it and threw a pick or something like
That's
that.
what it was.
Too.
He threw a pick. Yeah,
he threw a pick.
So, but like Penn State's assholes were very tight.
And then they got to they threw a pick and then they got to the red zone again and then they missed the field goal.
Yeah.
So there's 2 red zone.
They
drives.
scored a touchdown on that. On the third downer, they scored a touchdown, but it got called back.
Yeah.
And then they got sacked or something and missed the field goal.
There was one where, even though they were down 14, it was like the last drive. It's like, okay, if they make this field goal here, they'll be fine. Or if they score the touchdown here, and then they missed on 4th down or something happened. It's like, all right, the game's over with 6 minutes left.
As a Notre Dame fan, I felt that Notre Dame's game was way closer than the scoreboard, but it actually was the opposite. I just am used to Notre Dame fumbling those games away. But we were up by 2 scores the whole second half. We were dominating the line of scrimmage. They weren't really, like they had the one drive where they got a phantom pass interference call, I thought, on 4th down. The one where, what's his name?
The linebacker.
Kaiser. Was kind of like face guarding.
And then all the refs are saying they're like, there's no face guarding.
Yeah, all those people, and then
the ball hit him in the back.
I'm very in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say that I thought the first running into the kicker was roughing the punter 100%.
Yeah.
That guy annihilated that punter.
Yeah.
Bryce Young.
Yes, which
dog.
Whatever it is, what it is. But I didn't think that was PI, and then the second one wasn't. But like, even if they scored there, it's like you get a field goal, it's still a 2-score game. Like, I just thought the Penn State game, like, it was close. If I was a Penn State fan, I would have been like, dude, we escaped from there. Notre Dame, it's like, I mean, we did dominate the trenches, outcoached them, outperformed them, manned them. So
that was like the best part was going for it at the right time and kicking the field goals at the right time, punting at the right time.
Mitch Jeter, man.
Because people would say like, well, you got to kick return for a touchdown. It's like, well,
that was pretty sick.
It's a third of the game, though.
You show up when you show up. Like,
it's a third of the game.
That's why special teams is that. It's like in
those
games.
We got that kid from Marshall.
That's why the Chiefs won that Super Bowl was because
Darius Tony
got that big return and everything like that. So it's like
I'm sick of
the kid transferred from Marshall strictly for that job.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, bro. Like,
and people are talking about why would you try to score on that last drive because Notre Dame gets the ball first. Like if you just try to score, there's only 35 seconds left.
Oh, Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a huge problem with that. I'm so glad you brought that up. What the fuck are they to take a knee?
Yeah.
That's what they wanted them to do?
Because if they would have taken a knee, they would have said, oh, they're great. Notre Dame gets the ball first, and then they're just going to...
The clock stops on first downs. They had multiple times. They had 2 timeouts.
They had 2 timeouts.
What are you talking about?
And the thing is even if you go 3 on out on passes, there's 28 seconds left. You punt it deep. It's like, do you think Notre Dame's going to go down and score in 28 seconds?
You tell somebody after the fact that they got a strip sack and a touchdown. Yeah, it's real easy to say.
Yeah.
100%. What they did was perfectly correct.
Yeah.
You have to try to go score.
Yeah.
You're not playing the game to not lose. You got to go play to win the goddamn game.
The best thing, and if you actually watch it back though, Jadarian Price at wideout does flinch.
Oh, that was a false start.
Yeah, that was a false start.
100% a false start.
But Kirby Smart saying that's illegal. It's like, one, I assume Notre Dame told the long snapper not to touch the ball.
Oh, 100%.
Like had to be, but they said it's like if he doesn't touch the ball, it's not alive.
No.
So you can
and the play clock was continuously running.
Yeah.
So they had plenty. And you know what they should have done if they were smart? One of their players does what Xavier Watts does and grabs his hamstring and you get a free timeout.
Yeah.
These guys don't have fucking brains.
Xavier Watts' shoe came off. And he's trying to run off, instead he just falls and grabs his hamstring. And
like he's hurt. And the play stops. And, it's horseshit. Bro, I don't care. Okay, give me a 5-yard delay a game. It's 11 versus 10. I mean,
yeah,
that's fine. It's a 5-yard penalty.
And Georgia, the thing is that Georgia started substituting at 20 seconds, and the refs didn't let the center snap it until 5 seconds.
8 left. That's what I'm saying. The clock was...
So it gave them 15 seconds. The thing is that you don't have to let them fully sub. You have to give them enough time to sub.
Right, and they got more than enough,
Because let them fully sub, you could literally make a delay of game every time.
Yeah, you could just say, wait, we didn't realize that kid doesn't have pads on. Sorry. You just walk off the field. And then, no. That was completely out-coached. Marcus Freeman out-coached Kirby Smart. Like I said, a player on the Georgia defense should have fallen down. It was a tough spot. I don't think Georgia could have used a timeout there because those timeouts were very valuable.
Yeah, you had to.
But someone could have... Xavier Watts did it 2 quarters prior to that. Just fall
Kirby
down.
Smart was so worried about the rule as opposed to going just fall down, and grab your ankle.
That's why, like I said, it's funny how now that these kids are all like able to get paid, the SEC isn't this dominant conference. The only SEC team left is a Big 12 team who came in the SEC.
Yeah, so don't say it's an SEC team.
Not even, what I'm saying is like 2, 3, 4 years ago, I mean, Tua was sitting behind Jalen Hurts. You know, that's more than 2, 3, 4 years ago, but Tua was sitting behind Jalen Hurts, and now it's like, I mean, for some reason, Arch Manning is still at Texas, but it's like, dude,
I think that's because of his family.
You don't have 3, 4 kids playing behind these quarterbacks and linemen that are like, they're going somewhere else to get paid. So it's even in the playing field is my point.
Like Oklahoma, for instance, when they had Rattler and Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Baker and Kyler. It's like, what the fuck?
In this day and age, they would have only had one of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And everything. And it's like...
No, they did. I mean, and then after that, Lincoln Riley left. Rattler went to South Carolina, and they had 0.
You see Shane Gillis to Nick Saban about the paying the players.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I thought this was a fun show, and it's like, yeah.
But it's true. It's like once the players started getting played and the roster started getting even, you retire, and then you're up talking to Congress about how players shouldn't get paid and everything like that.
Yeah, no. That was my whole point, was that once these guys started, once it was an equal playing field for everybody, Georgia and Bama now aren't. I mean, Bama hasn't done fuck all since the NIL. And Georgia's won 3 of the last 4 national championships, but like I said, this year, I mean, like I said, Carson Beck sucked. I don't want to hear about.
Yeah.
And outcoached the line. I mean, what would he have done when the guy came from the left, his blind side and strip sacked the backup? I mean, like, the quarterback wasn't the problem there. The problem is
Georgia fans wanted him benched all year.
Oh, I know. That's what I mean. He was the shittiest quarterback on the planet until you lost the game, and now it's an excuse. But I still don't think you gave your pick. Are you taking Notre Dame?
Yeah. Go green.
Yeah, come on. Ohio State, Texas. Danny has Notre Dame, Ohio State. Yeah. So like I said, I mean, he did pass away after he made his picks, but
that was his last thing.
His last wish was a Notre Dame national championship. But I've got it Notre Dame, Ohio State. I figure Ohio State would be about probably the same type of favorite, 6 to 7 points, depending on how the games play out. I mean, who would I be if I didn't just take Notre Dame to win it all? I mean, we did anyway prior to this, I think. But yeah, I think, and even if we don't win it, I don't know about you, Billy, if we lose to Penn State, do you feel that it's just kind of a successful season?
I said after they won the quarterfinal game, and you guys were just messing with me, but I was like, this is a win for the season.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's like, yeah, you could say, like, of course you want to win the national championship.
Yeah, I mean, fuck.
But going into the year, we expected to make the playoff. And it was like, but we'll probably
we know what's going to happen.
We'll probably lose in the first round, maybe win in the first round. But after that, once we get to the top teams,
Georgia,
we know.
If you said to be week 1, you're playing Georgia in the quarterfinal, I'd have been like, fuck.
Yeah. And then after losing NIU, like, we were contemplating Marcus Freeman's job.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? Like,
calling in names.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. What did you just say?
What did you say? But. So before the season, if you said we're playing Georgia in the quarterfinal, we'd be like, all right, we're losing this game.
You're right. I'd probably say, fuck, man.
After we lost to NIU, we weren't even thinking we were going to make the playoff.
No, we went from like minus like 1,000 to make the playoff to like even money after the NIU, or I think we were plus money after the NIU game because it's like, bro, you're.
Because I think we said Texas A&M, Florida State, and USC.
Yeah.
We'd lose 1 or 2 of those games.
If we would have lost the second game, I don't think we would have been in. And I don't think we should have been in. Alabama fans who are going to say,
we lose 2 games with that schedule. And granted,
Florida State, conference championship. I'm with you.
Florida State
sucked dick.
Sucked. So it went from Texas A&M, and then we didn't expect USC to fall off the cliff they did.
Right.
But the season was just like, you just got to win these games. Unfortunately for Marcus Freeman, I trust him more in big games than I do against lower level competition.
That's why I'm kind of confident, because James Franklin's a fucking choke artist, bald loser.
You know they call him Big Game James?
Who's that? Who's they?
So the nickname for him is Big Game James, but it's said in jest because he chokes in big games.
He's never won a even Boise State, they were favored, and SMU, they were favored by over a touchdown. I'm talking games like this where it's pick 'em, you're an underdog, you know what I mean? Ohio State coming in this year, he never wins. Knock on wood, because he's played Notre Dame in a pretty big game. I think Marcus Freeman needs to have a fake punt, he needs to have, because dude. Did you see Penn State was up by 2 scores, right? Did you see the play that they ran? What's his name? Aller, their quarterback. He does a little throwback pass, and this guy tries to throw a pass back to the quarterback. You're winning by 2 scores. Why are you doing trick plays? You're winning by 2 scores. Boise State should be doing trick plays.
Yeah, because it's either you're behind, so you need a spark play, or you're the Lions and you're up by 7 touchdowns, and you're like, let's just fuck around.
Oh, with Dallas, they were trying to make it like, oh, he's going to score because last year you guys fucked us on whether he's eligible. Like, that's different. You're up by 2 scores in the second quarter of a game, and you're kind of dominating the line of scrimmage, and you're running trick plays. You don't know what you're doing as a coach. He's a fucking asshole. But I'm glad he's on the other side. I mean, they said the thing about who would you rather have of the 4 coaches, and it's like, if you just watch the Georgia game, it's got to be Freeman. Between him, Sarkisian, Ryan. I mean, Ryan Day and James Franklin are one and the same. Ryan Day just has a school that is very highly touted for recruits. Like
Sarkisian, I'll give it to him. They've been in the playoff back-to-back years. But it's like I still don't trust him enough to. I mean, the Arizona State game, he blew it.
They always do.
You're up how they blew the Washington game.
Yeah, their MO this year is that.
And then they blew and then like just looking at their record, I mean, they did win some big games, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Like they really didn't, because they beat Michigan.
They beat Texas A&M the last week of the season, but
they lost to Georgia twice.
Yep.
And then they beat Texas A&M but Texas A&M
didn't score.
We saw their offense. Their offense is terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Texas A&M just lost to USC.
Yeah. Which, I know bowl games are different and weird, but they played them and they lost, so it is what.
And then like Ohio State, people were dogging them for the Michigan game, but it's like you could have dogged Notre Dame for the NIU game.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, and that's a rivalry game. It was at home, so it's tough. But other than them losing to Oregon by 1 on just Dan Lanning doing that, just being a smarter coach right there. But it's like, in that game against Oregon, they didn't even have the shot to do anything like that. They came out and just
they fucking
pistol whipped the blind kid.
They beat the fuck out of them. Which, I mean, I could have guessed would have happened based on, like I said, Oregon's defense was letting Penn State. That's why people are saying Penn State. I'm like, I just think Oregon wasn't as good as you guys all thought. Not you guys, but people all thought.
Yeah.
Like, Oregon's defense gave up like 30 to Penn State.
They gave up 35 to Boise State.
That's what I mean. I mean, they're and it was week 2. Okay, we lost in week 2 to NIU, but you guys won't stop talking about that.
What's funny is,
you play the games. It is what it is.
Like on Reddit, they're like, "How did this team lose to NIU?" And they're like, and Notre Dame fans are like, "It's just a different team now. It's a different mindset." And then the rumor is that the NIU coach, like, he goes, "We're not a common opponent, and Marcus is a great guy, and I just want to see people succeed." And he was just like, I texted him, said, "Hey, you want to talk about how we beat you?" And he goes, and he called me immediately, and we would talk like frequently throughout the season. And I think the rumor is that we were tipping if we were doing run or pass.
Yeah, which you kind of have a guess, but if that coach said that, then there's something that it's like pitchers in baseball. There's certain guys that's like, I kind of think I know, and then there's other guys that it's like, damn, he sucked. It's like, well, yeah, we know every time his gloves this way or this way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you know when that guy told him, then good for him.
That's the thing, and he's like
hire him on the staff.
But he's like, people freak out. He goes, coaches talk all the time.
Oh, they do.
We all share information. He goes, if we played them every year, I wouldn't have told them.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, and I texted him after the bowl win. He goes, but I assume his phone's blowing up. But I know I'll hear back from him because he's that type of guy.
Oh yeah, Marcus Freeman and Joe Mazzulla for me are coaches. I mean, it's fantastic what
Catholics
the program's got going on right
That's
now.
why.
I mean, maybe
he'll get baptized this year if Notre Dame wins.
I actually would consider it. No, I'm kidding. Celtics championship, Dodgers championship. I won a fantasy league and Notre Dame wins a championship. I mean, who is Danny to say I should slow down drinking? If anything, I'm not drinking enough for the year I've had.
Have a Kanye psychotic break.
No, yeah. I mean, bro, that probably won't ever happen again in my lifetime. That 2 or 3 of my teams.
And like I said, the Golden Knights won 2 years ago.
Yeah, we had a Golden Knights, which, I know Celtics and Dodgers are big programs in their leagues, but the Golden Knights are a very new franchise. That's pretty sweet that they won that early. But
seems like they've been hooping this year too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're doing well. We got to go back to another game.
Yeah, it was sick.
But I have Ohio State winning.
Ohio State, Texas.
Oof.
Ohio State's favored by 6. 53 and a half's that total. I think this is going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I'll go Ohio State just because of like how well they played against Oregon.
Yeah,
I didn't expect that. Like the first half, it was like 31-9 or some shit.
Yeah, they were beating.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, they were beating.
So I'm like, I didn't expect that. I thought Oregon was gonna, be neck to neck, but yeah, I'll just go Ohio State, and especially like that. Is it the freshman, the wide receiver?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's
Smith.
it looks like
Smith's
he's
cousin.
yeah. It looks like
Geno Smith's cousin.
Yeah, the Smith.
Holy shit, good for him.
It looks like he's back too. So I mean, hey, you got him hot.
Yeah, well,
good
guess
luck.
What? Next round,
He would be a top 10 pick in this draft as a freshman, but he obviously not, which is probably a good thing.
No, 100%.
but he would be for sure. So in 2 years when he's eligible, he'll be a top 5 pick.
So we all have Notre Dame Ohio State championship. Well,
Yeah.
what could go wrong there? I'm going to take Notre Dame. Don't feel bad if you take Ohio State because they're going to be favored. But I mean, if I take my team to the final, and it's a 60-minute game, I can't pick them to fucking lose.
I would probably say Notre Dame if it is the final, just because I would say you guys have better defense in terms of cornerbacks and like linebackers. I don't know too much about your guys' defensive line.
Very good.
Okay. Then
the reason we beat Georgia was the line.
Yeah,
the
offense.
And our best defensive tackle got hurt against Indiana, and people were like, "Oh, they're screwed." And the
Yeah.
defensive line was like, showed up and was like, "Oh no, we're good still."
Then like in terms of offense, you guys is 1 and 2 fucking 1A, 1 and B running backs are insane.
And then our quarterback's like 1C.
What's his name? Riley?
Riley Leonard.
Yeah,
he's quarterback.
He's good.
Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price.
Yeah.
He had that number 20 kid. I never
And
get his name.
Aeneas Williams.
That kid's awesome.
True freshman number. Yeah.
That kid can scoop.
Which he would be the 4th back because Jabron Payne tore his ACL in spring game. And
It's funny how we have like 2 or 3 deep, but like we're starting to. Looks like we're starting to be. I mean, quarterback we don't.
Because
but,
last
like,
year it was.
think about the line. The fact that we're still moving when we've lost this many. We lost our right tackle, right guard before the Texas A&M game.
And the Texas A&M game, yeah, we only had one guy with more than 10 career starts on the line.
Dude, remember that? Hold up, remember that video? That fucking your guys' lineman just fucking
punching the
USC.
USC.
Yeah, with that full helmet on,
Dude.
People
That
wanted
was-
him suspended and shit like that. It's like
That shit was awesome. I never seen that ever.
that's what I like about Marcus Freeman. Like he said, they said compared to Brian Kelly, like he's like I'm not mad at aggressive penalties, like the running into the punter. He's like, we were going for a block there. You hit the punter. Brian Kelly would have screamed at that. So like the players play like.
You play not to make mistakes.
If I go all out here, but he's like false starts are what I get mad at.
Yeah, delay of games, false starts, jumping off sides,
which you should. And as a former player, I think that's what helps. He's like, listen, if you do stupid shit, I'm gonna get on you. Like what was the one game where at halftime,
the kid hit the guy after the play, and
he threw the ball at him.
Yeah, whatever it was, but it was 3rd down, gonna be 4th down. They were gonna punt to us,
And we had there was like a minute and a half left in the half, and the guy threw the ball at the opposing player and got a 15-yard penalty, and so he's screaming at that guy. But the guy running into the punter, he's just like, hey, we went for it. What can we do?
Yeah.
Type of thing like that.
Yeah, the twice in a row though kind of fucked me up because I'm like, hey asshole,
Stop.
Like I told Billy,
That kid though has 4 blocks this year.
and
okay.
I think he's
punts.
6'8", 6'7".
And
Oh,
he's
dude,
a
he's a big
freshman.
His
His
arm-
dad used to play for the Niners.
Yeah,
Bruce
But-
Smith.
I told Billy because obviously when I went to Dixie,
I mean, nobody was guarding him, so I'm like, yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
So, like,
So-
that's what I told Billy because when I played in college, you kind of math out how long it takes snap to punt. So you're like, if we don't block this guy, unless the operation goes terribly, the snap,
Which
What is
was
it,
a
like-
backup punter.
it's pretty much physically impossible that he can get there. There's not if we get the snap and kickoff in 1.7 seconds, I'm just throwing a number out there. Like for field goals, it was I was like a 1.15 from snap to kick, which was like fantastic. I can't remember what it was on punts, but let's just say 1.5 seconds to be fair. This guy, it's going to take him like 1.8 to get there. He can't do it. He's going to hit you is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Which I know you're fucking don't want this big fucking 6'8" freshman linebacker to come and tear your head off, but it's he can't get there. He literally can't. That's why they don't block him. It's not possible. But with that being said, yeah, I got Notre Dame. I'm sure all 3 of us are taking Notre Dame.
I will say we played Ohio State twice. We lost to them twice. The first time, it was Tyler Buckner's first ever career start.
Yeah.
And that guy's just not the type of player Riley
You watch your
Leonard is.
mouth.
And then the second time was a very close game. And the last drive, Ohio State, we made a bunch of mistakes.
We made a bunch of mistakes
He had
first
10
on
on the-
offense when we weren't running the ball.
Yeah.
You threw it on first down. It's like, hey, you're winning the game, man.
Yeah.
Estime is going to get you a first. You just got to.
We had our tight end coach as the promoted offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
We have the offensive coordinator we have now was LSU's last year when Jaden Daniels won the Heisman. So
I was upset with him, man. Run the fucking ball, dude.
and
Yeah,
at the
just
end
run
of
the
that
ball.
Ohio State,
Run the ball.
At the end of the Ohio State game, we had 10 men on the field. I think
Yes,
twice.
I was going to say yeah.
And then the last play of the game, we had 10 men on the field. And I think Al Golden, this is probably his last year with us.
Maybe. He said he's not listening to anything
Yeah.
besides winning a national title, which could mean, yeah, because I want to do this and get out. It could also mean, like, if he doesn't do it, he's like, listen, we're right there. We got to get there.
We got like Ben Johnson did.
I'm worried about tomorrow is all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about
It's tomorrow?
It's tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
So I went-
I'm off at 5, so I'll be able to watch it.
Come on.
So I will say,
I love working mornings. I hate working nights. Sorry.
Yeah.
Back to the show.
I think Marcus Freeman is much better in big games than Ryan Day.
Yes,
So I
I think knowing like this is it, like the week to week is kind of hard because you're like, okay, it's NIU. Like this right here, it's like it's Penn State, and then after that, it starts like, hey, this is the national championship. Like he's locked in.
Yeah.
I personally think you guys can beat Penn State. So I mean,
Yeah. Like I said, if bet of the week, I hate doing this, betting on my own team. I don't. That's why I'm so like I like us a lot. I just know James Franklin and I know the whole thing, but I think Notre Dame's gonna kind of not like same thing as Georgia. I wouldn't be surprised if we beat them worse, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we lose. So I'm not like sitting here saying like I put my life on the line. We'll move to some NFL talk.
Yeah.
Fucking first things first. Who do you think's the MVP? Well, I don't even ask him because Billy's racist and he's mean. Lamar Jackson, the fantastic year. I wouldn't be mad if he got it. It sucks because I'm a guy who looks at like everything. Like I said, when it comes to MVP, I look at who if you were to take him off the team. I think Jaden Daniels should be in the conversation, really, because coming to that team and doing what he's done. But I mean, it's for me. It's like I said, it's got to be Josh this year. It just sucks because Lamar's had such a good season, and the voter fatigue. I think that's bullshit.
Well, that's my thing is I don't think Lamar should have won it last year.
Who should have got it last year?
I honestly do believe Dak Prescott should have won it because he had the most passing touchdowns in the league. He was first in completion percentage. He was third in passing yards.
He was pretty much top 5 in everything, I think.
He led his defense was worse than the Ravens, and he led the team to 13-4.
Yeah,
while the Ravens
I could hear the argument.
Or 14-3, and the Ravens were 13-4. And
I think
Lamar,
I thought.
Lamar
Yeah,
missed
I
the
was
game.
gonna say like I thought maybe
CMC. If it was an award where you gave it to every player,
That's what I mean.
would be CMC, but he got offensive player and a quarterback. I think Dak and the regulars. People confuse this with just because I thought he should win MVP doesn't mean I think he's a better player than Lamar.
No, of course, I get what you're at.
Nor would I say if I went to the playoffs, I would want him over every other quarterback.
No.
But MVP was just for that year.
For the 17 games that were
For
played
the
between
17
September
games.
and
that's the thing. People
December.
like, he did bad in the playoffs. The MVP isn't a playoff award.
Lamar did worse. Like I said, I love Lamar.
And here's the thing.
What the fuck? What does that mean? Because he played worse. He literally scored 10 points on the
I think
Chiefs.
Dak should have won MVP last year. And this year, there's only been co-MVPs one time, and that was Steve McNair and Peyton Manning. This is the year I would do it again with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
That's crazy.
Because I think if you swap them, both teams do just as well. Yeah. But I think if you take them off, both teams do horrible. Like if the Ravens had a backup in there, and I don't mean like
if the Ravens had Tyler Huntley, just the guy they've had, he's on the Dolphins. But if they had him, I think they win 6-7 games. If the Bills have Mitchell Trubisky, I think they have the first pick.
They both missed the playoffs, though.
Oh, 100%.
And that's all I'm saying. Make the playoffs.
Even in the AFC East where they've been shit.
Yeah.
The Dolphins would win that division with 9 wins or whatever they have.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, the Ravens are a better constructed team, but they still only win 7 games. So, okay, they go 7-9 compared to 4-13.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we're splitting hairs here.
Oh, of course.
I think you go co-MVP here.
I think that's fine.
I think Saquon wins.
No, I don't think anyone's really brought that up. That's a good idea.
I think Saquon wins Offensive Player of the Year.
100%.
And co-MVPs for those two.
That would be sick. I would actually be very happy with that.
I can see where maybe Lamar wins the MVP because if you just look at his stats compared to Josh Allen, it's like it's
night
insane.
And day, yeah.
Night and day. And Lamar's stats last year compared to this year, it's almost double?
It's historic.
Lamar's stats last year were comparable to Tyrod Taylor's when the Bills made the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, no, his stats this year, I think he has the best QBR of all time, and he's got like a 41
touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
That is fucking unreal.
So it's 10-1.
Yeah.
I'm like, he created the 4,000-yard passing and 900-yard rushing club.
No, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You've put it on the flip side. Just watch the Josh Allen against the Lions and against the Rams, where he had 3 rushing and 3 passing touchdowns.
Well,
you guys won the game. And made the playoffs.
It was a great game.
Here's the thing about Josh Allen too is that
he like I've always said, he does things no one else can do.
He only had 8 turnovers this year, I think.
Yeah.
Or 6.
Yeah, he shut
6
the narrative down.
I don't know if he had any fumbles.
But they didn't play every game the last few years for them has been the Rams and Lions game where it's like we'll just shoot back and forth with you. This year you could tell it was controlling the clock, keeping our defense off the field, trying to create a negative play on defense. Like Josh Allen you saw a couple plays, but like last year it's like, dude, almost every drive this guy is like running over people for first downs.
Yeah, I think this year too, Josh Allen, he's not throwing just fucking random bombs
That's what
down
I mean.
the field.
They've completely taken that
Yeah.
like away from him, which is good.
Good.
But
So he had 40 total touchdowns, 28 passing, 12 rushing, to 6 interceptions.
yeah, that's still. I mean,
And I didn't see any fumbles on there.
28-6 is what 4-1
Well, 40-6. Yeah, 28-6 is
for passing.
It's
I mean.
almost it's 4 to it's over.
Here's
4
the
to
thing
1.
though, is with
And Lamar had 41 passing touchdowns to 4, so 45.
I
40.
don't remember him throwing that many fucking touchdowns.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm
I
like,
don't either.
how?
Also, like I said, I'm a big Josh Allen fan. Everybody knows that. You're not sitting there with James Cook looking at him the same. Him and Derrick Henry, you look at those two guys, and one of them's a little different than
What
the other.
sucks is even though James Cook led the league in rushing touchdowns, is there's a lot of times without the one, and it cost him some touchdowns and everything.
But Derrick Henry, I mean, how many times did that guy run for? I mean, against the Bills, first play he goes for 75 yards, and it's like, I mean, this guy, legitimately, Derrick Henry is probably one of the top 5 running backs I've watched in my lifetime play football.
I will say with the Ravens is with Lamar, and this is my critique with Lamar because
Oh, it's gonna show up again. Don't worry. You don't even have to say it. You just gotta watch.
I don't believe he's a guy that can thread the needle.
And Zay Flowers is out.
Zay Flowers is out.
They might lose to Pittsburgh.
Like you see the touchdowns, and the touchdowns I saw were always a broken play.
Yes, that's
And
what I
then the
mean.
dude's wide open, and he threw it, and he could throw it anywhere. It's like playing in the street.
If he does a 5-step drop and has to put a ball between a linebacker and a safety, he cannot do it.
No.
But if I'm the Ravens, I put him under center and I start running bootlegs.
Oh, I've talked about it for how many years?
But I don't know. Maybe he can't on the run, going his left, open up his hips and hit the guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Towards the sideline and everything.
He's not
like
the same
that.
type. If you look at it for me,
Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert can make those throws. The guy that's underrated to me this year is Justin Herbert.
we've talked. You got a head coach who's not a complete fucking nerd, an idiot, and all of a sudden you're actually winning games.
And he chose
What was his
offensive
name?
Brandon Staley.
Yeah,
Dude
Brandon
sounds
Staley.
like a professor.
Yeah.
That guy's
But
a fucking
The
asshole.
thing is Jim Harbaugh chose a tackle over a weapon.
I gave out that pick was like 5-1, and I'm like, dude, they're picking.
And then
You
they
guys
got
don't
Lad
know Jim Harbaugh?
McConkey. And somebody said it best. They're like, this feels like when the Lions drafted Sewell
Over Chase.
and St. Brown
Yeah.
in that draft. They got Sewell first round, St. Brown, I think, 3rd or 4th.
Yes.
And then this team got Alt first round, and I think McConkey was 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then obviously Gus Edwards. I mean, Dobbins
JK.
gets hurt a lot, but
Comeback player of the year. I gave that out earlier.
Dobbins and Gus.
Fuck, man. He was right there for that. He's 3rd right now in odds, and he was like
because
50
Justin
to 1.
Herbert threw 21 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's 7-1.
Herbert.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they didn't throw it a lot.
It doesn't, like, to
but it's
me,
like,
if you throw 50 touchdowns, that's not as impressive as, like you said, Justin Herbert. It's like, hey, he's in, like, we're going to see when the games play, when you guys play each other, it's about the styles. It's not about what you did stat-wise. That's like, Josh Allen's had the best stats in the league for how long, but you get in the playoffs, and it's like, okay, dude, but your defense gives up 50 a game. So at a certain point, that's going to...
I will say, though, so Josh Allen in the playoffs, I think he has 18 total touchdowns to 3 turnovers.
It's like, what can he do?
Dak, I think, has like 16 total touchdowns to 5 turnovers, so it's 3-1. Lamar has 9 total touchdowns to 9 total turnovers.
I think it's 9-8 or 9-9, yeah.
It's 1 he's 1-1.
Yeah, it's right there. That's what I'm saying. It's going to rear its ugly head again. I
And
love Lamar.
I'm saying, like, if there's like Mahomes, a Burrow, an Allen, a Herbert, I draft over Lamar.
Yeah.
But the rest of the quarterbacks are just not that good. Where I pick Lamar 5th.
Yeah.
But not because he's on the tier of those 4 quarterbacks. It's because he's just above those other guys.
Yeah.
I can't trust a Jordan Love to not make mistakes.
Oh, I love Jordan Love, man.
C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love C.J. Stroud's too young.
I was told Bryce Young shouldn't be in the NFL, and Stroud's the next best player of all time, and that's kind of flipped in the last. Like I said, I like Stroud. It's just more of a thing of these people.
The Texans did win. What?
They still won 12 games
back-to-back year, or 12 games for the first time in franchise history. So, and they did go through injuries and everything like that, but
he hasn't looked the same.
No.
Jordan Love has looked fantastic compared to him with
him being injured for sure.
Him being injured.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's been banged up all year, but you sit behind a guy for a few like
Jalen Hurts to me as a Lamar. It's like if he's passing the ball 40 times a game,
you're fucked.
If you want him to thread the needle,
he can throw better. I think honestly he's a better thrower than Lamar.
He is a better thrower than Lamar, but you still don't want him throwing.
No, I don't.
30, 35 times a game.
Hand the ball to 26.
Yeah.
Or have Jalen run the ball.
Yeah, well, because that opens up him running and getting easier throws.
Well, that's the thing is, can you run an old school?
That game, man. that's a tough break for the Eagles for Jalen not played for 2 weeks and them getting the Packers.
That
Packers
was-
don't worry about the cold. If you got the Lions and be like, you got to come to Philly, the Packers they run the fucking ball.
Should we get into playoff picks?
Christian Watson tore his ACL, man.
That's the only thing. Is Jordan Love's? It looked like he was hurt a little bit.
He left the game.
Yeah.
He left the last game and didn't come back.
Watson got injured, so it's like.
Yeah, at what point is it like?
I will say about Matt LaFleur, somebody called it out, is that
he's an asshole
because he makes a lot of big time. Like he's a great play caller.
He's either great or he's horrible. It's really weird.
And it's like they think that, and he said him doing the play calling distracts from the time management and shit like that and everything.
Remember when Malik Willis was quarterback and we were like, this guy's the best coach in the NFL?
Yeah.
Why did he and then we said when Love comes back, he's going to fuck this
up.
And
in the first game, he threw it 40 times. And then he switched back to it, though. He switched back to only throwing it 20 to 30 times.
But I'm like, dude, what? I don't understand what you don't. But in his head, he's like, I'm going to, I feel like they really can't look past their ego.
Because Sean McVay does that sometimes because of his play calling duties. And I think Sean McVay's a great coach.
Yeah.
Because of what he does with like I picked the Rams to not win the playoffs and they were going to trade Cooper Kupp.
Come on.
And then
Rams fan, by the way.
And then Cooper Kupp, Nakua all come back, and now they're in the playoffs. It's like, well, I didn't expect this to happen at all. They were going to get rid of the whole team.
I picked them against the Lions last year in the playoffs because I'm like, dude, that team, they've won a Super Bowl. Stafford, you get into these games with these guys, and you're like, you don't realize, the Lions are all rah, and they're this and they're that. It's like, dude, the Rams have won a Super Bowl.
Them young boys.
Yeah, them young boys is
coming.
But
and our team is young, too, which is crazy.
But you have a veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
And a head coach who's won a Super Bowl. That
exactly.
means something.
McVay's only problem is like what you said. Like he's not very good. He does timing. Yeah.
Like, down decisions.
I'm like, fuck, man. Like, why are you calling a timeout? Why don't you have a play ready?
Because McVay and LaFleur are too busy worrying about the play call and then that on top of it.
Oh wait, I have 6 seconds now. I gotta waste the timeout.
Yeah, and everything. And then they said to LaFleur, because LaFleur's like, did you see that play? It's like, I was talking to Bisaccia over here about this. So he is trying to do it all.
Which is you don't have enough hands.
No, and it's like Dan Campbell can do it all because
Aaron Glenn runs the defense. And Dan Campbell still fucks up decisions. You know what he said how he makes decisions on 4th downs. If I think later that night I'm going to regret what I did, then I won't go for it. That is the worst answer I've ever heard. He said, if I think later I'm going to look and say, damn, I shouldn't have done that like that. But it's like, dude, no. If you're up by 10, if you're up by 14 in a game, and it's 4th and 1 at the 20-yard line, I get it, dude. Like, you're biting down on that tobacco and you have 18 cups of coffee. You kick a field goal and go up by 3 scores.
We get this game's fucking over, but it's like, just kick the field goal.
Me and Drudy were out last night, so it was my date. I woke up at like 8 o'clock this morning.
I know. You woke up like fucking happy.
Why would I not be happy?
I mean, last night you were just tired.
Oh, dude. Why? I had to work fucking like the last 14 straight days. I needed like a little. But last night was perfect. I took a little nappy nap before you got off of work. But yeah, all those guys have that same problem. All these offensive dudes. The Texans. I don't think they've ever not played a first round game on Saturday in that early window, the 1:30. They've only played in that window.
Oh, like the last few weeks?
No, in the playoffs. Oh. Like when Deshaun was there, they always played the first game on Saturday in the playoffs. Last year, they were the first game against the Browns. Remember? Oh, yeah. I did do that, Billy.
Playoff picks.
We'll start Saturday. Chargers go into Houston. They're favored by 3 points, the Chargers, that is, going into Houston. That, to me, was kind of a whole field goal. Who do you got, Drew?
Who's the running back for Chargers right now?
Ezekiel Elliott. No, it's Dobbins. Is he hurt? Dobbins, Edwards, and Zeke are the 3. Danny for this game has picked the Chargers.
Honestly, I'm agreeing with Danny. Like I don't know why. Like I think Chargers are hot right now.
We're keeping the records of this too. Last year I sucked in the playoffs.
Houston, I feel like they kind of fell off.
Oh, they did big time.
So
they got a lot of injuries. Tank Dell's done. Stephon Diggs done.
Oh, dude, that Tank Dell injury was brutal.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, I'm a Justin Herbert. He's been hot.
Stroud's crying like he fucking died. Guy's never gonna win anything.
Yeah, so I mean,
really, Josh Allen watched the guy die.
Yeah. And they were like, "Hey, we're ready to play, asshole. Get this fucking."
Yeah, like, take him off the field. Let's fucking go.
And this guy's crying like a.
I think Justin Herbert's hot right now.
Here's what I look at: Jim Harbaugh going in there. I trust him.
Yeah, so
I'm crazy because the Chargers are like Notre Dame this year, man. You did not think they would get to this point.
No.
But then you're like, oh, their coach is a fucking weapon, you know? So you're going Chargers?
Yeah, I'll go Chargers.
Danny's going Chargers. I'm also going to take the Chargers.
Chargers have 6 losses, but some of them were questionable. Like they lost to the Cardinals. Cardinals were a good team.
Cardinals were one you don't want to fuck about.
I mean, they're always
You
good.
don't want to mess around there.
I think with Cardinals, they're always a good first half team, but the second half, they just always fall off.
They only lost to the Ravens by a touchdown. They lost to the Chiefs twice close.
I think they have the lowest winning percentage of their strength of record. They beat like the bad teams in the league, the Chargers. I'm
Yeah.
just saying them going into Houston with Jim Harbaugh versus D'Amico Ryans. I'm gonna take. I just feel like Harbaugh. He's
I don't know. D'Amico Ryans, he's good.
He's good, but Harbaugh's
He's good. I think
Harbaugh's won a
Houston
national title and been
is.
to a Super Bowl, bro.
I think it's a little bit. It's tough to say a sophomore slump when you make the playoffs again.
Yeah, of course.
But I think they're injured and they're trying to
He played
adjust
Will
to that.
Levis twice a fucking year.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
that guy's an asshole.
And Anthony Richardson
That guy might be worse.
and Doug Peterson. I'm not going to shit on Trevor Lawrence because of who he's had to
Yeah,
deal
that
with.
guy's fucked, man.
But I
Trade him
will
to
say-
Dallas, please.
Harbaugh, Herbert, a run defense. I mean, Joe Alt switched to left tackle the last game of the year and still dominated.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Chargers just strictly for that.
So everybody
-3, you said?
but we're taking them to win the game.
But like
They're -3, like they're favored by 3.
I think they could win by 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean more than 3 for sure. So I mean, I don't usually bet, but if you guys want to bet for that, I would say Chargers -3.
All right, I like that. Steelers go into Baltimore on Saturday night. Saturday night, 5:00 Pacific time.
Who's home?
Ravens won the division.
Baltimore.
Baltimore's favored by 10 points.
10?
10 points. I think that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah,
That's a lot of points. I think
it's gonna drop.
it started at 8, went up to 10.
What the fuck happened in Pittsburgh?
Well, they suck.
Yeah.
But people are betting the Ravens. That's why the money is going up.
Mhm.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to pick the Ravens, but do not be surprised if the Steelers win this game. Just because Zay Flowers is out, and if they stack the box, and I think I was asked this question, or it was asked on a numbers game, the show I watch. What team in round 1 do you think has the most pressure on them? I think the two teams are the Vikings and the Ravens, because the Vikings looked like shit and Sam Darnold looked awful. You win 14 games and lose in the first round. How do you even look at that as a good season? And it is. I mean, Sam Darnold was dog shit everywhere he went. And, I mean, not his fault. I thought he's always been a good quarterback. It's just his situations. But you win 14 games and lose in the first round. That's a disappointing year. The Ravens lose in the first round. I mean, like I said, Zay Flowers is out, but that's a bad. You can ask them. They would probably much rather play the Chargers, Texans, or Broncos than the Steelers. That familiarity, 10 points, that's crazy.
I think
Yeah.
losing Zay Flowers is not a big deal because they have likely Mark Andrews, Bateman, Derrick Henry, and I'm probably missing somebody else, huh?
No, they got rid of Deontay Johnson. Lamar, I mean.
Yeah, and Lamar. So
I like I said, I'm picking the Ravens to win, but if the Steelers win, I'm not going to be completely shocked just because, like I said, division game, it's always a close game except for the last one they played. You know, it's a whole new season now. It's not, oh man, we got to make this is you loser and you're done.
yeah,
Danny also took the Ravens.
I'm going to go Ravens too, but this is the one. I think this was probably the toughest game for me to pick, strictly because of how Lamar tightens up in the playoffs.
The familiarity, everything.
The familiarity. Tomlin, I think, gets his guys ready, and then the Steelers. The defense is solid, and then it's like the offense. I don't know what's going. That's like I
I
don't
feel
know
like
what's
the
going on
team,
with it.
the team is starting to lose faith in Russ again.
Yeah, but I think
So-
it's like Pickens. Dropped,
yeah.
He had a
He had a
horrible
lot
game.
of drops that game against the Bengals and everything. So it's like, what do you do there, type of deal. But I think if there's any game where I think the Ravens win this one because it comes off to me as more of like the first round in the college football playoff.
Yeah,
like
where
the
it's like-
Steelers are a lower team.
We're outmanned.
The second round is when the Ravens, I think, might be
hot.
outmatched.
You know who they're going to play in the second round if the higher seed wins?
Josh
They're
Allen?
going to go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So Broncos Bills opens up Sunday morning. Bills are favored by 9. I think that's a lot of points. I personally think the Broncos are a bad matchup for the Bills. Sean Payton is a way better coach in my opinion than Sean McDermott. Josh Allen obviously could make me look like a good head coach in the NFL. I do think I'd be a better head coach than some of these guys, and people can say what they want, but if you don't know how to use a timeout, and like Marcus Freeman, like I said, you don't like Kirby Smart. You didn't have a wrinkle or anything with your special teams. I mean, like I did that, and it seemed like you had no clue what football was. You're crying about the rule, and this. It's like, dude, like I said, have a player go like just. Sean Payton has that in him where I'm like the Super Bowl guy does an onside kick to start the second half of the Super Bowl. he's got shit up his sleeve. He's ready to go. I could see the Broncos. I could see the Bills winning on a last-second field goal or losing this game and it being like, I mean, man, that's just disappointing.
Who did Broncos play last week?
The Chiefs, who they played when they didn't play anybody, but they won 38-0. They're coming in fire.
2 weeks ago, it was Bengals, right?
Yep.
So watching that game, I didn't realize like how good Broncos defense.
Oh, they're very good.
Yeah, really good. So that defensive line.
That's why this is a bad matchup for the Bills.
So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Josh Allen, he could scramble. So I mean, even though if that O-line might get beat up, he's going to scramble, find somebody on his right side.
But at the same time, he might toss a few balls up that are, ill-advised. That's what I'm saying. If the Broncos play this right, which I think Sean Payton will have his guys ready, this game it's going to be like 14-14 at the end of the third quarter, and you're going to be like, we have 15 minutes to decide if the Bills are about to get through the next round. I'm going to take the Bills, but another one, like I said, I would not be surprised if the Broncos win this game. I'll probably do a teaser of
Bo Nix, right?
Yep. He's fantastic.
But
he's a rookie, first playoff game.
Yeah.
Like, it is a whole, like I said.
But then again, Sean Payton, he'll figure out.
Oh, he'll be ready.
He'll have plays for him. Like, hey, I know you could do this. We're not gonna do anything fucking
crazy.
stupid.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So,
Danny's also on Buffalo.
Yeah, I'll go Buffalo, but not minus what you said 10?
9. That's
no,
a lot of fucking.
I'll say plus 9 for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Plus 9.
I think Buffalo and I would actually take the -9 because I think that the Broncos. We said the Chargers. I think the Broncos beat up on bad teams.
I hope so, man. Because
we said they lost to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Who
but they were in there.
Had a horrible defense.
Yeah. No, their offense isn't great, but like I said, their defense is so good. If they can keep the Bills under 21 points or 21 points, they'll.
Yeah, with the Bills though, it's Josh Allen, it's James Cook, it's Ty Johnson,
Buffalo.
Ray Davis, Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman, Kincaid.
Yeah.
And it's like
I know, but
the Bills.
Denver's defense is fucking good.
Yeah,
they're very good.
But think about with the points the Bills put up against a Lions defense, a Chiefs defense.
The Lions defense sucks. Chiefs defense, yes.
Lions defense is hurt.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Those are the number 1 seeds.
Right. But like I said, this is a week where Sean Payton has a week. He knows who's coming into town. He knows where he's going. Sean Payton's not going to come in there and it's going to be fucking, oh man, you didn't like. Sean Payton knows how serious this is. The fact that they even got to the playoffs this year, that's how good of
Yeah, with the dead cap space they have and everything like that.
3 teams in their division made the playoffs.
100%.
I would say shout out to my friend Sam Hood. He's a big Broncos fan.
Michael also.
Oh yeah, Michael too. So it's gonna be a great game.
However,
Sunday.
Yep, Sunday
Sean
morning.
Payton, you could say he has the experience. I mean, McDermott has experience now.
Fuck him.
But Sean Payton, how many times with those Drew Brees Saints teams did they lose play? They only won 1 Super Bowl, which
of
is
course.
Great. But it's not like he's an impeccable record type of
thing.
No.
I think he's a little overhyped in terms of history, but at the same time, he is also.
At this point, he's technically Mike McCarthy.
He's better than Mike McCarthy.
Looking at it, yeah, but if I did Coach A versus Coach B.
Sure. But also the way he kind of invented the offense of the NFL, like the offense that him and Drew Brees kind of established.
It's a West Coast offense.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like
But Joe Brady was the assistant on that 2019 Saints team.
Yeah.
And then went to the LSU, and then now is at the Bills. So Brady.
They said him and Ben Johnson, these guys for head coach, and they have Vrabel like 8th. Like I was talking to a guy at work, he's like, you think Vrabel's that good? I'm like, bro, are you fucking crazy?
I'm taking Bills off the table. Obviously, Vrabel's number 1 available head coach.
No, I didn't think that was a question. And Brian Flores would be in there as well. I get Ben Johnson but like if you're a team like,
you can't have an offensive guy.
If you're a team like
head
Buffalo,
coach, if he's calling the plays,
right?
Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur, and Sean McVay.
They run into problems at certain.
They run into those problems all the time. You can't have a defensive guy call the defensive plays though either. Like,
here's my issue: if you're New England,
if you're gonna be a head coach, you need to be a head coach.
If you're New England or you're
New England's hiring Vrabel.
Or you're Jacksonville and you have a young quarterback, and it's like, hey, we're going to give you, like they gave Mayo 1 year. It's like, what did you want him to do in 1 year? I get it because Vrabel's available. That's one thing. But Vrabel was available last year and you didn't hire him. So I don't understand.
You could have just done that and said.
If you're the Buffalo Bills, right, and you fire McDermott, you're taking Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel. You're going to take a guy you now don't know if he's a coach, and this could set you back, and you're going to waste more of Josh Allen's time, or a guy who's won divisions, won conference.
Won playoff games with Ryan Tannehill.
What are you picking? Like, these guys are all, like I said, if I'm the Patriots, but you gave a guy a year and fired him anyway, you had to have done that for a reason where you're like, we got a guy we know is ready to go.
And I can see, and I mean, they had Vrabel was a Titans coach who went to the Patriots on his bye week to get in the Ring of Honor and shit like that.
And also beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Almost beat the Chiefs.
Outwitted Bill.
Yeah, that delay of game shit was fucking hilarious when he was like laughing. You got Bills, Bill?
I got
You said
Bills
in cover. You said Bills Broncos cover. I got Bills Broncos cover. You want Wi-Fi?
No. I didn't pick. I picked Bills, but not to cover.
So I said Broncos cover. Danny's got Bills. He didn't say anything on cover. This one's also interesting. What? Packers, Eagles. Favored by 4.5. The Eagles, like I said, Jalen Hurts has missed a few weeks. The Packers are good. They're sneaky, man. I mean, last year, think about it. They should have beat San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, just given the fact that Jalen Hurts has missed a few weeks, I think if he's a little rusty, but I've picked literally all favorites. Is it going to come out that way?
I think he just didn't play the last 2 weeks because the second seed was locked up.
Well, the first week he wasn't past protocol.
Did they play
practice today?
Did they play earlier in the season?
Packers? Yes, first week 1. Remember Jordan Love got hurt? Jordan Love got hurt on the last play.
That was when everybody's slipping on the field and shit like that.
Yeah, it was terrible. How did we not have this set up yet? How does that happen? How is it not? How do you go somewhere and the field's shitty, the grass is all coming apart? It's like
a soccer field. Like, it shouldn't happen like that. But
it's the NFL, man.
Yeah,
it's like this isn't like slap fighting where like they're putting it together. Like, this is an established company who has billions and billions of dollars. How are we don't have a field that's good to play on? I'm gonna take the Eagles, but I think the Packers cover. Danny has taken.
You're taking the Eagles.
The Eagles. Butthole?
Yeah. I'll just go with the Eagles. But if Green Bay is fucking hot within the first or second quarter,
right?
There's no chance of Philly coming back because of how AJ Brown gets. Jalen just starts choking up. He kind of just goes crazy. Then Saquon, he could probably only do so much. But
yeah, they're down early. I agree.
Green Bay's defense is pretty good as well. So I think Eagles need to start off hot and stay hot before the fucking Green Bay does that first.
Yeah, they need to establish the run and be able to keep running it.
So I would say Philly -4.
You're gonna take them to cover too?
Yeah.
Bill?
I'll go Eagles. Yeah, but I think the Packers cover.
This one here, Sunday night, man.
Should have been us. Should have been
Rams. Yeah, you're Monday night.
Yeah, but fortunately we lost.
Sunday night. Oh, you're talking about in LA.
I'd rather play Washington than fucking
Minnesota. I don't know. That's tough. Washington Redskin football team Commanders go to Tampa Bay. They're 3-point underdogs. 50.5 is a total. If this is a high scoring game, I think the Commanders probably win.
Yeah.
Because that kid's fucking like a fucking Tasmanian devil, and he's awesome.
He's Scary Terry had 13 receiving touchdowns this year.
Yep, he did.
Yeah, he hooped for me. You got him right.
I had him too. Yeah.
Danny took the Commanders. I'm gonna do this for my cousin Ryan, my beautiful Mexican cousin,
little lad. But
I'm gonna take the Commanders also. I genuinely think they win the game. We also get Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore again because he's on the Commanders now.
Oh yeah, they're out of the division, but they're
that's awesome. That's cinema. Give me the Commanders. Like I said, obviously Bucks are favored, so I'm not going to be shocked if the Bucks win. But I think the Commanders, like this young team, I think they get this one win, and then after that they're going to run into.
It's like the Texans last year.
Yeah, exactly.
They get the one win. I think they get the one win. I think the Bucks.
The season's already a win for them in my book, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They won 12 games. I did not realize
they went 12-5. Up until the last 2 weeks, they were up for the division.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that team just rallies. Dan Quinn's that guy where he's good for a couple years to rally behind.
Yeah, he come in and light a fire under your ass, but it's starting to fizz out.
But I think like in 3 years they'll be like, we need a new guy. But I think Jaden, because he can move, Scary Terry and Jaden spreads the ball around well. The defense is solid, obviously under Dan Quinn, and the kicker is Siebert is amazing.
Mm.
And I just think the Bucks. I just think Bowles is going to fuck up somehow. I think he's great defensively. He makes a lot of dumb mistakes, and I think Baker tries to make throws he shouldn't make in these times, and it's just like
Jaden Daniels doesn't feel like a kid who the moment's going to get big for him in the playoffs.
No, I don't think he cares.
He doesn't even fucking look like he gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, not in terms in a bad way, but like he's in that Eagles game and like running and it's like last drive and you're like, it's like Dak and like if they're young when he was a rookie, like he's like, it's like Jaden Daniels is just sitting here like, bro, I've been here before.
He's like, I'll win this game, don't you worry.
It's crazy.
Come with me. And Cliff Kingsbury, I think, is great as an offensive coordinator, not as a head coach.
Yep.
He's perfect for play calling.
There's another one they're saying next year, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
If I was him, I'd be like, I never want to be a head coach
We
again.
ran this course, bro.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Who's favored?
Buccaneers favored by 3.
I'm gonna say Washington, but Bucks will cover.
No.
No, or other way around.
If Washington, they're underdogs. So if they win, they have to cover.
Oh, okay. So just Washington then.
I guess that's a high total. Last game, Drudy's boys.
Come on.
What time do you work Monday?
I'm gonna have to watch it at work
Oh, that sucks.
because I work 2:30 11.
The Vikings go into the Rams. The Vikings are favored by a point. This is pretty much as even as a game as you get.
Point, eh?
Yeah, Vikings are the favorites. Bill, who you taking? Danny has taken the Minnesota Vikings.
I actually really do, as just a fan of Stafford and obviously Kyron, want to take the Rams. But it's just like we said, the Vikings can't come this far and not win at least one playoff game.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, and the thing is though, is like B-Flow's defense towards the end of the year, it's like, okay, what you're doing, all you do is call a fucking blitz. It feels like different blitz, and like Al Golden in the college football, that'll work
Yes.
because you're against
Stafford, that is
college
no shot.
offensive lines and college quarterbacks against a Matt Stafford and a pro offensive line and a McVay and a Kyron Williams who can block.
You got to bring more.
Gotta go fucking block it, dude.
Like that's why I personally thought Kyron Williams was the best running back in that draft because of pass blocking. Just like I thought Zeke was the best running back coming out because of pass blocking.
Yeah, he's like an extra lineman in
If
a way. I mean, if a
running
linebacker's
back-
coming in, he's going to take
If
him
a
out.
running back can run,
No, he's
can
gonna
pass
take him out.
block and catch out of the backfield, I'll take him being a little bit slower
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
because it's like I just need 4 to 5 yards to carry. That's the thing is like, I mean, the Vikings look bad against the Lions, and that Lions defense is hurt and everything like that. And I think the Rams are a young team where next year I'd be more worried about them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Vikings this year just strictly because it feels like they got to get one. And then that gives them a tough decision between Darnold and McCarthy.
So you got Vikings. Danny has the Vikings. I'm going to make it simple. I think the experience, the way the Vikings looked the last couple weeks, and in terms of what they mainly did against the Lions, I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah. I am worried about. Obviously, I'm picking the Rams, but I am worried about Vikings defense because when they're hot, they could get fucking 2 pick six on you guys.
Those
Easily.
guys play together well.
Yeah. So then
And Stafford can throw a pick where you're like, what the fuck, dude?
And the last 4 weeks, Stafford hasn't been too hot in terms of passing yards. But I think our team is, we're fully healthy. We got all our players back. We got Puka, fucking Cooper Kupp, our O-line, our defensive line is fucking insane. Frisk and Jared Verse. Even our quarterbacks, we started off kind of shitty, but recently we've been doing way better in terms of quarterback. So, yeah. I know Justin Jefferson, he's going to have a field day for sure. Him and
Addison,
they're going to have probably a field day. So I think if that's another bet you want to take,
Aaron
take,
Jones is
take the receiving yards for JJ and fucking
like I said,
Madison.
Rams next year, I think if the 49ers don't get it together, I think the Rams win that division pretty easily. And then I'd be worried about them next year with everybody getting another year of experience. If I was them, I'd start looking into this year in the draft or even trading for a Joe Milton and getting a guy to play behind Stafford for the next 2 years.
McCarthy. Right from the team. In
Trade
the
for
playoffs.
Or even fucking, if Vikings don't want to kick Darnold, then hey, Rams will take him.
Yeah, McVay, because McVay, O'Connell, LaFleur are the same guy.
Yeah, McDaniel too.
They can make quarterbacks. Yeah, McDaniel too. And Shanahan too. They can make any quarterback look good.
Yeah, I think they should have. I think the Niners should have kept Darnold. And
if I was me personally with the Rams, I would have kicked Baker.
Bro, they got Jimmy G. They're fine.
If I would have thought, but I don't think they expect Stafford to
He
play.
kind of hooped last game.
Hey, they don't want to talk about how Jimmy G played last week. 27 to 41.
I
two
was
touchdowns.
like, who is this guy, dude?
Yeah, I'm telling, bro.
He's
Jimmy
a
G
dude.
is fucking. I like Uncle Alex said he fucking sucks. Jimmy G is good, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, back to
He's
what
good
I was
with
saying.
McVay,
I hope Stafford
Shea.
rolls his ankle on the first play
All right.
and can't finish the game.
and then Jimmy G throws 8 passes, and they still win because Kyron Williams rushed for 250 yards.
And guess what? He didn't fucking say a word about it. He came out and handed that ball off, and
That's the thing is you're not gonna get a
He
quarterback.
did his shit that day.
You're not gonna get a quarterback that's gonna be like only threw it 6 times and be happy. But Jimmy G was like, I'm just here to win,
I don't give
and
a
that's what I
fuck.
respect. And as a backup quarterback, he does have 3 Super Bowl rings, but like you're contributing, like you could say,
which is crazy.
You can get third.
or does he only have 2?
Yes, 2, yeah.
But still, you can say like he's the backup. It's like one, Brady was suspended, so him and Jacoby each won multiple games that year, and it's like to be a backup, you have to contribute. Like you're not just there.
Yeah, no.
He's contributing every day.
He practices against the number 1 defense.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So some trivia.
You telling me that asshole couldn't start on the Raiders, but they have fucking Gardner Minshew and Aiden
yeah.
O'Connell
Yeah.
out there, and Desmond fucking Ritter. Get
Ugh.
that guy out of the NFL.
I hope we trade back to the Raiders.
Me too.
I mean, Raiders just
Get a
like,
first round
they're
pick.
just a fucking retard franchise.
Yep, they are.
Yeah.
Well, this next
Mark
year coming up,
Davis.
they have a lot of money to spend, so we'll see how it
We'll
goes.
see.
Well, people want to come to Vegas.
Well,
Fuck that.
maybe
Yeah.
because Brady, depending on how involved he is, but it's like you kept the same GM that didn't get that thought Gardner Minshew was the quarterback that you should sign, unless you were throwing it away this year. But regardless, so not including this year, who are the 4 teams that have the longest playoff drought?
Not including this year.
Not including this year.
So, like, Washington would count.
Yeah.
So, Washington.
No, Washington is not.
They're not in there.
They actually were there 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say Miami, but they were there last year. Carolina.
Carolina is 6 years. They're
Wait.
tied for 3rd.
Oakland or Vegas.
Yeah.
Nope. They were there 2 years ago.
Really?
Remember Basaccia got him in?
Oh, that's right. Wow, this is tougher than I would have thought.
Arizona.
Jacksonville was
Oh,
there.
Arizona.
No, Arizona was there 2 years ago.
4 teams?
What?
4 teams.
Oh, Chicago.
Oh
No, Chicago was there 3 years ago.
Holy
What
fuck.
the fuck? Tennessee.
Oh, I know.
Tennessee was there 2 years ago.
Jets.
The Jets
Oh, yeah.
were there 14 years ago. They're number
14? That was that long ago? I remember watching them.
Jesus.
14?
1. Yeah.
So we have Jets and...
Jets, Panthers, and there's 2 more teams.
All right, let's think about this.
One is in the playoffs right now.
Oh. Chargers.
No.
Really?
They were there last year.
Oh, they went with Staley. Dude, I'm a retard.
Not last year. The year before.
Minnesota?
Nope.
No, they were there last year.
Not Bucks. Not Detroit. NFC team?
No, I don't want to.
One NFC team, one AFC team.
Fuck. Okay, so well, let's think. There's the fucking Lions, the Eagles. Who won the other divisions? The Bucks, and who won the NFC West?
The AFC team is the team that made the playoffs this year.
Oh, Denver.
Denver, 8 years it's been.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's one NFC team left 6 years ago.
Okay, so we have Seattle was there. The whole NFC West was there. Rams, Niners.
Yeah.
So let's count them out. We already said Bears, Vikings, Packers, Lions are all not there. Giants.
Nope.
Hmm.
Giants were
So it's NFC South. Yeah. So I know it's either Saints or Falcons, but if your life was on the line, I'm gonna say Falcons.
Falcons 6
Yeah.
years.
I was gonna say because I think
Because the last time that's what that was that the year they made the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 28-3.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's fucked. Damn, that took me a lot longer to fucking guess than I would have thought.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get it like first try.
Yeah.
But
And then this one is so the 2024 Buffalo Bills tied the record for fewest total turnovers in a season with 8. There's 4 other teams that have 10 or fewer team turnovers. I won't ask you for the year, but can you give me the 4 other franchises that have done that?
The Packers did it when Rodgers had 4 picks, right? No.
Nope.
Chiefs.
Chiefs haven't done it.
Patriots.
Patriots did it in 2010. They had 10.
Baltimore.
Nope.
It's crazy. He had 4 picks.
One team did it this year.
but not the Bills, obviously.
Now the Bills did it. Bills did it this year, and some other team did it this year.
Bengals?
Nope. They had 9 total turnovers. This team.
Eagles?
And the AFC.
Baltimore.
I think I already said that.
Oh.
Chargers
had 9 total turnovers.
Good for them, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they don't turn the ball over. They don't fucking their coach.
They just don't know how to catch a ball.
Their coach doesn't go for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, man.
And then, so 2 other franchises. One team was in 2019, had 8. And another team in 2011 had 10.
Broncos.
Nope.
I kind of want to
Seahawks.
Nope.
Tennessee. Fuck. You said AFC?
1 AFC, 1 NFC.
2 NFCs.
2 NFCs.
2019.
Dallas.
No. I said Joe Brady was there.
Oh, the Saints. Yeah,
Saints.
you got to think about these guys who had those quarterbacks.
Saints with Peyton and Breeze. And then 2011 was the 49ers.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, which...
That's kind of a
I thought
random.
that was... The Bills stat I thought was interesting just strictly because Josh Allen and his...
He shut that whole turnover thing down this year.
Or even fucking Chargers, you know?
Yeah, no, that's why, bro, like I said, I've told Billy and them all year, you get a coach that knows what he's doing, and you're in very good shape. Anything else football-wise?
No, nothing football-wise. I did want to for the NBA. Just see if you guys can name the top 5 assist leaders of all time.
Jason Kidd.
He's 3.
James Harden.
James Harden is actually 14th, though.
No, he's climbing his way up there.
Steve Nash.
He's 5th.
John Stockton.
He's 1st.
So we have Stockton.
Stockton,
Nash,
Kidd, Nash.
I know some asshole on TikToks.
Magic.
Magic 7th.
Ooh.
I know some asshole on TikToks and say, "Oh, you guys didn't say fucking whoever."
They're both playing.
Luke. No.
They're CP3.
Yeah,
he's
CP3.
2nd.
He's 2nd. Oh, good for him.
He's
So
3,000 behind.
He's what?
3,700 behind.
Jesus.
Stockton.
How many assists does he get in a year? You average 10 a game. That's 800. He'd need about 4 or 5 more seasons. I don't think he's got that left.
John Stockton, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash. You need 4th all time.
Playing right now. What's that noise?
The camera.
Oh. I know I'm going to be fucking pissed when it's... Yeah, let me think. I mean, it's got to be Lonzo Ball, if I had to guess.
Russell Westbrook's 9th, Harden's 14th, Lowry's 20th.
I mean, it's obviously an older guy because he's been in the league for fucking ever. I'm just trying to think if he's like old as fuck? Oh, is it LeBron?
It's LeBron James,
Yeah.
4th all time in assists.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, that guy, and everyone says, you hit him. Like, dude, that guy statistically, you'll never see anything like that again.
Nope.
But this is more for what a point guard is, or the greatest point guard all time type of deal. Is that, like, Magic Johnson's 7th all time, Isaiah Thomas is 10th all time. Where do you think Steph Curry is?
An assist?
Yeah.
In the 20s.
Nope.
30s?
36th all
I was
time.
going to say 20s, 30s. Yeah.
He's behind all time Drew Holiday and Mike Conley.
Mike Conley was,
I love Mike
I
Conley,
could talk
though.
about Mike Conley all day,
Yeah.
if you had the time.
But like I said, James Harden has 7,900 assists. Steph Curry has 6,200.
Yeah. Well, James Harden had his years where he was averaging 11 a game, 10 a game.
Well, that's just the whole. But people consider James Harden a shooting guard. I'm like, no, the point guard initiates the offense, distributes the ball, and everything like that.
Yeah, Billy and Ryan got into it pretty bad on our cousins group chat about James Harden and Kyrie and all these guys Luka not being point guards, and Billy's like, LeBron's the point guard of the Lakers, and Ryan's like, what does it say next to his name? It's like, yeah, it says small forward, but he runs the offense.
Yeah. He runs the offense. It's like they call him point forward. It's like he's the point guard.
Yeah. I hate to cut it short. I have to get a haircut. Boston played in Denver last night. No Jokic, but we didn't have Derek White. They didn't have Aaron Gordon. Kind of, like you said, NBA's up in the air, but
That's too long of a season to really care.
No, I know. We lost to Oklahoma City.
Like the Celtics, like someone on the subreddit, the Celtics, they're freaking out about a couple of the loss to OKC. I'm like, it's fucking 36 games into the year.
We just won the finals. I'm worried about going back to there.
Yeah.
If it was Notre Dame and we lost 3 straight games, obviously our season's over, but I'm talking more of a longevity. Just need Kristaps to stay healthy. You got anything else before we get out of here?
Can't wait for playoffs.
Yeah,
for football. And
literally this weekend, you have Notre Dame, Penn State Thursday, Ohio State, Texas Friday. What?
Danny's here.
Wild card Saturday, wild card Sunday,
back from the dead.
wild card Monday. Like you have 5 straight days of meaningful, crazy football games.
And you know what sucks, bro? Saturday I work 7 a.m. to sucking 7 p.m.
We did tell everybody you did die.
Yeah, you make us look bad.
I
No.
mean, show that.
He's a
hair.
ghost.
I mean, what the hell?
But yeah, I don't know if you had any thoughts, but I'm running to get a haircut, so I don't know if you want to. Are you probably gonna go to sleep? Well, we've got anything to say?
What have you already said? I'll cap on something.
How do you feel about James Franklin claiming to be an African American coach?
He's Muslim or something.
I don't know what we were talking more about. Ask him the trivia question about the playoff teams.
Oh,
Crush this.
I thought I was. I'll let Danny close the show. You guys have a good night.
Go Palestine.
What's it?
Whose side am I supposed to be on?
I'm on my own.
America's.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's one.
Hey,
Since
give me that one.
since you both are here, here's a trivia. Who has the top 5 most WWE championships?
So
Roman Reigns.
No.
Rey
Cena.
Mysterio,
John Cena's tied with first with 16.
Goldberg,
Undertaker,
Nope.
Brock Lesnar.
Ric Flair,
Ric Flair's tied for first with 16.
Shawn Michaels,
Nope.
Triple H,
Triple H is tied for second with 14.
Hulk Hogan,
Hulk Hogan's 5th with 12.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton's tied for second with 14.
So who are we missing? One?
That's everybody. Edge has 11. Brock Lesnar has 10. The Rock has 10. Sting and Vern Gagne have 10.
Ask him that question.
What does Roman Reigns got?
He only has like 5. He just had that long. He has like the 3rd longest reign of all time though.
He's only got 5 fights in that time.
Yeah, he only fought once every 3 months.
He's more like a,
Like a John
Khabib
Jones.
kind of guy.
He's a
going.
prize fighter.
He's a Khabib type of guy.
All right, not including this year. What 4 teams have had the longest drought to make the NFL playoffs?
Not including this year.
Yeah.
So the Broncos,
Broncos, yep, 8 years.
Jets,
Jets, 14 years.
Panthers,
6 years.
All right, well.
and I'm missing one.
Yeah.
Not including this year. Drought to make the playoffs.
The team didn't make the playoffs this year. That is included, so they can.
They
add-
also didn't, so they
Yeah.
got added.
I think this last one might be a little bit tough. I
Don't say it.
I know.
Jaguars.
No.
Okay.
Remember they had that
That's a
comeback.
good guess. I wasn't thinking that one.
They had the comeback against the Chargers a few years ago. They haven't been in it for 6 years.
6
Same like
years.
with the Panthers, yeah.
Oh, he's not going to get it.
This team's 6 years.
Yeah.
Colts.
Nope. They were in it 3 years ago.
6 years. Okay. I was thinking it was going to be like, for whatever reason, longer than that. So let me think. Sorry. 6 years. The Raiders.
Nope.
Versace took him.
Versace took them.
Wow, I forgot about that. 6 years. Commanders.
Nope.
Wow.
Stepping away from the Clippers because of being with family who was forced to evacuate due to fires. I think he's just like doesn't care about basketball.
The Bears.
Nope.
Wow.
They almost actually won that playoff game. Remember that
I've
drop?
I've pretty much guessed every team, so now it won't be as impressive, but I'm going to get it. I know who it is.
Oh.
I know exactly who it is. The last time they were in the playoffs, they were in the Super Bowl, and they lost to Tom Brady, the Falcons.
The Falcons.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
What's the other one real quick?
And then I'll do the
Assists?
top 5 all-time assist leaders in the NBA.
All time?
History.
NBA history? Okay, why'd you say history? Okay.
'Cause I thought maybe you're thinking of this
so
year.
like an element. LeBron,
LeBron's 4th.
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson's 7th.
He's not top 5.
No.
Yeah.
John Stockton's first.
John Stockton's 1st.
Who's second?
Who do I think is second? Or who is second?
Well, yeah, both.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul 2nd.
Second.
He's the most
You need third
overrated
and
player
fifth.
in the history of sports.
He got third and fifth. That was
Yeah, he got those off the
Isaiah
rip.
Thomas? No. He hasn't
Isaiah
played.
Thomas is 10th all time.
That's still impressive for the years he played.
Yeah.
3rd and 5th all-time assists. Are they both point guards?
Yeah, they're traditional point guards.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash is 5th.
Not Rondo.
Rondo is
Oh, that's a good
15th
guess.
all time, though.
God, I love Rondo.
I said Lonzo Ball, but that
Is this guy active or inactive?
He's inactive. He's an active head coach, though.
Okay.
Don't say that. I didn't. Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd is third all time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do this because James Harden, so Magic Johnson's 7th all time, Isaiah Thomas is 10th all time, James Harden is 14th all time. Where do you think Steph Curry is?
Assists. 24th.
Dude, I think I said the same number.
36th all time.
That's not bad.
Well, he has 6,300 assists. He's behind Kobe in assists.
Yeah, Kobe played 20 years though.
He says 6,300. James Harden has 7,900. Isaiah Thomas has 9,000, and Magic Johnson has 10,000.
How many times did those guys average 32 points per game though? You know, he's a scorer.
No, I'm not arguing that, but I'm talking about like a pure point guard.
He's not a pure point guard. I do think he's an underrated passer though.
Oh, underrated passer for sure, but he also is very turnover. I was just shocked that he was so low
You coming?
because
He's a more scorer than he is.
yeah,
I'm gonna go to Meraki. I was gonna see if one of you guys wanted to join me.
I'll go.
Okay.
All right, I'll be out.
because Mike Conley and Drew Holiday have more assists than him too, but they're older than him.
They're older.
At this point,
More
MVPs
tradition.
for the NFL. Josh Allen and Lamar.
Hasn't been done since Steve McNair, Peyton Manning, but I think there's a year.
If there's ever been a year,
You give Saquon Offensive Player of the Year, Josh Allen, and Lamar co-MVP.
that's how I would do it. Co-MVP 3 man, Joe Burrow.
If he made the playoffs,
Who do you think? Let me ask you this: who do you guys think is? Forget records,
All right.
forget everything.
Okay.
Who's been the best quarterback in the NFL this year?
This year.
Yeah.
Joe
Lamar.
Burrow.
You think Lamar?
Yeah.
I would say Joe Burrow. If you said Josh Allen and you said Lamar and I said Joe Burrow, I think we'd all be
I
correct.
think you're
Yeah.
splitting hairs though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It sucks that it really does sucks. You know, like I would love to see Cincinnati in the playoffs, but we can't because of their defense.
Jamar Chase won the Triple Crown this year.
Yeah.
When was the last time a player won the Triple Crown and didn't make the playoffs?
The last time a person got the Triple Crown, they won the Super Bowl.
Cup. Yep. When
Which
was
is
the last
cra-
time a player got the Triple Crown and didn't make the playoffs?
That never happened.
Fucking
1992. Sterling Sharp.
That
damn.
guy is the most underrated wide receiver of all time because of injuries.
Sorry, his brother might be the worst underrated tight end of all time.
And his brother says he's better than him. Sterling's better than him.
Sterling is better.
Yeah. That guy in that era having those numbers is unbelievable.
There's a lot of guys when you look. Jerry Rice is the most astonishing one. When you look at his numbers and his era.
Yeah.
I saw something yesterday where it's like the average passing yards per game in the league when he was playing was 202, and now it's like 230 something or whatever. And there's an extra game, and his totals still are just remarkable.
Yeah, like Mike Evans tied him for 11 in a row, 4,000-yard seasons. Jerry had 11 in a row too, but he had 14 overall.
To tie Jerry Rice in all-time receiving yards, Mike Evans would have to do that like 11 more times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a dude
It's
that's
crazy.
20 years
And like
at a high level.
comeback player of the year, who do you think?
Who do I think it should be?
I
this
think
year?
it's either Sam
Deshaun
Darnold
Watson.
or
Joe
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, either of those work.
I said they should have split it into comeback and most improved.
Most improved should be Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold would be most
Comeback
improved
would
and
be
come
Joe
back with
Burrow.
Joe Burrow. And then last year they could have said Joe Flacco was most improved and DeMar was comeback.
No. Comeback would be Flacco.
I would say he improved because he had 0 passing attempts the year before.
Yeah, but he's won the Super Bowl. He didn't improve from that. I get what you're saying.
Rookie of the year,
Personally,
Jared.
I would give it to Brock Bowers, but it should be Jaden, and it can be Jaden, and it will be Jaden.
Jared Verse.
Yeah, Jaden.
Huh?
Jared Verse.
He's a great player.
He's a great player. Even that first.
Your guys' D line is like all rookie or second year players, and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
You lost Donald, and like might have a better D.
That's why I said the Rams next year. I'm more worried about them when now they have a year under their belt.
You know
with
what's
those young
weird
players.
about when they traded all those draft picks
to get
one
Goff.
Super Bowl?
Oh no,
Yeah,
to get
Stafford.
Stafford.
Yeah.
They drafted very well in the
No,
third,
traded
fourth,
to get
and
they
fifth round.
traded the draft picks to get Odell Beckham, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Von Miller,
They traded to get Von Miller. They traded to get Odell Beckham.
Stafford,
Ramsey too.
Or I said Odell Beckham. I meant to say Stafford. Jalen Ramsey, I think. Right? I'm just naming names that maybe Bobby Wagner he might have signed. Like they traded all these draft picks to get all these guys, but they draft so well.
They got Kyron.
Isn't that
They got
crazy that they
Nakua.
draft so well? They got
Crazy.
Nakua, Kyron, Jared Verse, Kobe Turner. What's his name? I'm messing his name. they've drafted so well since they've had their drafts picks back. Who was Verse a first round pick?
Yeah.
You guys
That
had
was like
first
the-
round.
That was our
first round pick
Yeah, yeah.
back. So it's like they didn't miss anything because
Imagine what we would have gotten
All
those
those
first rounds.
Because a lot of those,
all those middle rounds were.
a lot of
Then
the
again, they won
report,
the Super Bowl.
like a lot of the reporters, they were saying like, I kind of don't trust anybody like in the Florida State, but we saw something that nobody else saw, and we look at them now, fucking Pro Bowler.
I mean, those guys said that Kyle Hamilton and Kyron Williams weren't going to be anything. Kyron's the top back in the league. Kyle Hamilton, you could argue, is the best.
Some
safety
draft
in the league.
evaluators are just terrible. It's like you can tell they don't watch film or they don't watch because we're Notre Dame fans, so we watch every game. We watch coming into the draft, I thought Kyle Hamilton should be a top 10 pick. I thought Kyron was a first. If you're looking at just caliber of player, he's a first round running back.
I said because of his pass blocking and made him the best running back in that draft.
He's shifty. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run the ball. He's a 3-down back. He can pass block and he can return kicks as well.
Yeah.
That's a first round back, and he's a first round player.
And
now.
they said if he ran a 4.540, I'm like, okay, that's not the field.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. On-field talent, like people will look at their combine and go, "Oh, that Kyle Hamilton kid ran a 4.6. He's never going to be a safety in the league. He's 6'4".
Yeah.
He's not going to run a 4.3."
Yeah.
And also, he can play safety, linebacker, and corner, and D end. He can get you sacks. He can force fumbles. He can get picks. He can get pass deflections. He can cover one-on-one. He can make a tackle in the open field.
It's
He
just
can
like
read a hole.
Eric brought up, like, on that fourth down between Georgia and Notre Dame when we swapped out, like, fake punt, swapped them out. He's like, why didn't one of the Georgia players just fake an injury like Xavier Watts did? I'm like, if I'm
They don't have the IQ.
Xavier Watts to me is now a top 10 pick because
That's the
his
thing.
shoe came off and he was calling it off and he thought, I'll just grab my
I bet you
hamstring
his
and go down."
combine looks bad, and he falls to the late second, third round or something like that, and that's a first round safety.
And he's a top 10 safety in the league in his rookie year, like Kyle Hamilton was.
Yeah,
What school do you go to?
he's at Notre Dame right now.
Oh,
Xavier Watts. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the dude from
But that's the thing. I'm not going to.
Baltimore.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you
He went
like.
to Notre Dame too.
Huh?
He went to Notre Dame.
No, Kyle Hamilton. He went to Notre Dame. Yeah.
Shit.
That's what I'm saying. We watched his film. We watch every Notre Dame game, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you how good a guy at
I saw him covering
Washington State is. I don't
over
watch their
one
games.
hash in zone, and then he saw the quarterback turn to throw it, and he ran across the field and picked it off and drug his toe on the sideline for the interception.
He's unbelievable. There's just certain things like when you actually like how much film. Like Mel Kiper would be like, this guy should go. He'll be like evaluating guys in the 6th round. I'm like, you don't know about. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
you didn't watch this guy.
This guy was great. He played 1 year, 4 games at Washington State. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I think he has Benjamin Morrison as the 3rd cornerback in this draft. And I'm like,
Him and the kid from Michigan are the 2 best corners.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't mind him being number 2, but for having him not number 1 or 2 is
here's the thing: the kid from Michigan and Benjamin Morrison are 2 best corners. Travis Hunter's both ways, but he's probably the 3rd best corner in the draft, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But here's the thing: usually, if you look at any NFL draft, 2, maybe 3 corners go in the 1st round, maybe. There should be 4 or 5 or 6 that go in the 1st round this year. This is a good corner draft.
yeah.
Yeah, there's really like
And you
I
just
think
don't
you
know
guys
how
are
that's gonna
talking about
go.
it too. Like there's really no offensive players that are really good.
This isn't the best. Like
No quarterbacks. I'd say Genty.
last
Running
year,
back,
if you look at
yeah.
last year's draft, the number 1 wide receiver, the kid out of Arizona this year, he wouldn't go above Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr.,
MHJ.
Roma Dunze, MHJ. I might even be missing
Brock Bowers.
something. Brock Bowers. As far as just receiving goes,
If you're
the
gonna
best.
draft-
If I had to take if you right now you said someone that can receive the ball for you, who you take first? I'm taking the tight end from Penn State.
yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, this is not a great receiving draft. The only Genty as the running back could go 1st round. As far as skill players go, I would take like 3 skill players, 1 tight end, probably 2 wide receivers, and a running back, so 4.
yeah. And
Quarterbacks, I
no,
would not take any 1st round.
No quarterbacks.
I would go
One.
straight trenches, O-line, if I'm looking for offense, and then there's a plenty in the defensive draft.
Yeah,
That kid from Georgia on the DN, that kid, there's plenty at Ohio State, plenty at Penn State. The kid at Penn State is fucking fantastic.
yeah.
I forget his name.
That's what they said. They said
He is unbelievable.
you saw what Penn State's D line did to Genty. Imagine what he's going to do to Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. I'm like, well, they did it to Boise State's O line.
Yeah.
Notre Dame just did it to Georgia's defensive line.
So
I'm not too worried about Notre Dame's offensive line against Penn State's defensive line.
Georgia's tackles on the offensive line are 6'8", 340,
Yeah.
and 6'7", 330.
And
Yeah.
we beat them on the trenches on D line too. With
Holy
with
shit.
Mills being out.
Right, Riley Mills is like 6'5", 298. Like that's a guy you need in there. He's another guy I've watched every game of him playing. He should be a first-round defensive lineman.
Yeah.
He is fantastic. He is a big motherfucker too.
I'm telling you right now, this game against Penn State, look for number 3 on Notre Dame, Jalen Sneed.
He's fantastic as well.
He's not good on anything other than
Number 8, that
going
corner
to
Schulers, or the safety Schuler.
Safety Schuler as
Both
well.
Schulers could be top 2-round picks. I know I'm a Notre Dame fan. I might sound biased. I'm just saying I've watched all film on these guys.
And in 3 years,
Benjamin Morrison, that corner Moore.
In 3 years, look for Leonard Moore, true freshman.
I'm going to talk about the draft this year. Benjamin Morrison, both safeties, Xavier Watson. I don't know if Schuler can come out yet.
I don't know.
Those guys, Riley Mills, and
Kaiser.
yeah,
I like Kaiser as
Jack
a
Kaiser.
4th round pick.
Drake Bowen as well if he can come out. He might be a second-year player.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore.
The big Hawaiian kid on the D end with the tribal tattoo. He is fantastic as well.
For Notre Dame?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I see him a lot.
he's
fucking good.
fantastic as well. Jeremiah Love can't come out. I wouldn't. This has been the worst. The second tight end I take would be from Notre Dame, Mitchell Evans. This is the worst. Notre Dame's O-line. You right now. There was a few years ago when everyone was healthy. Quentin Nelson, Zach Martin, and Ronnie Stanley were all first-team All-Pro on the line. You could have a first-team All-Pro Notre Dame offensive line. This is probably the worst O-line Notre Dame's had just because of injuries in the last 10 years. So, that might be a spot where I wouldn't take him where you usually would. Yeah. Yeah? Billy's going to shit his pants and his mic's dead, so I guess that's the show. I mean, if you ever have to wrap a show for a reason, it's because a guy has shit.
Because of this guy.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Trying to think of what else there is. You guys made all your picks.
yeah.
You speak of mine. I'm so nervous for tomorrow. Hey, by the way, what do you think the spread is in the Vikings? If you had to Vikings really? It's 1.
1, right? Yeah, 1.
I thought it would be 3.5 Vikings.
Come on.
Vikings have 3 losses this year. 2 are the Lions, 1 are the Rams.
It's going to be a good game.
The Rams are for sure, if there's 14 teams in the playoffs, the sleeper of who could make the Super Bowl. Because if you had to pick a Super Bowl, I would say it's Lions-Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay? Number 1 seeds, they get a bye. They look the best all year. They only have 2 losses. The Chiefs go there every year. The Lions should have been there last year. It is what it is. Then I think people go, I like the Eagles. Like I know Eric likes the Eagles out of the NFC.
He said he was worried actually this week because Jalen Hurts coming out of concussion protocol and Devontae.
Tell you what,
Brown being questionable.
the 3 NFC games could go either way.
That's 100% how I feel.
But people like the Lions and Eagles, right? Top 2 seeds, everything. I don't think people are high on the Bucks. Commanders aren't going to make the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I would love it if they did. The Vikings are the next most real team behind them, but they're not. The Vikings in the Super Bowl don't even sound right.
No.
You know what I mean?
It never did.
Yeah, they could lose to the Rams.
And then, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like Billy and Eric, they're a little worried about Lamar still being.
He's a playoff guy or not?
Yeah.
Here's another thing. Mike Tomlin has John Harbaugh's fucking number. I think they've played like 9. I tell you what, they ain't covering that spread, 9.5 or whatever. I think they've played like the last 10 games they've played have been decided.
Even?
I saw 9.5.
No. I'm talking about record-wise. Record-wise.
No, the last like 9 games they've played or 10 games they've played, it's like 7-2 Steelers, but they've all been decided by like 5 or less points or something. Up until this final game, I don't know that.
Oh,
I like Chargers in that.
yeah, we all picked Chargers.
And the Bills, Broncos.
Here's the thing:
I thought the Broncos I thought the Bills were going to blow them out, to be quite honest with you.
Broncos have one of the best defenses,
Yeah.
but they cannot score. They can't score. Broncos will score 14 max, and the Bills with Josh Allen should score over 20, 25. What's the spread on that?
9.
I would have made it 7.5 Bills, and I think they cover both of those. Yeah. Here's the thing I was going to say, though. The Commanders, the Packers, too, sorry. The Bucks, and who else am I missing in there? The Vikings, they're not going to make the Super Bowl, I'm sorry, in the NFC. The Steelers, the Broncos. Who's the other wild card team?
Houston or Chargers?
Chargers or Houston. They aren't going to make the Super Bowl, I'm sorry. Obviously, the top 3 seeds in the NFC, the Ravens, Bills, or Chiefs, going to be one of them. And it's going to be the Lions or the Eagles, right? If there's one other team that's a sleeper that can make the Super Bowl, it's the Rams. That team is and people, that fucking team just won. The same team won this goddamn Super Bowl.
Young defense, great offensive weapons.
They got healthy at the right time and hot at the right
Great
time.
offensive line, great weapons, veteran quarterback, and a coach that's won Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, but then I also just lose.
How many starting quarterbacks right now in the NFL have a Super Bowl ring?
4?
I'm genuine. That's a question.
Mahomes, Russ, Stafford, A-Rod.
Stafford's one of them.
This is in the playoffs.
Oh, in the playoffs. Oh.
No. I'm saying in the NFL.
Oh, NFL.
There's only 4 Super Bowl, and let's say
Is this the only thing I'm worried about that game? Is Stafford? He hasn't been too hot in terms of passing yards.
Listen,
So he's gonna have to throw that ball for sure.
your team has Kyron Williams healthy,
Yep.
Cooper Kupp healthy,
Mm.
Puka Nacua healthy,
Mm.
Matthew Stafford healthy. That is fucking rare for the Rams to have,
And a healthy O line.
and the O-line, that is rare for the Rams to have.
Yeah.
Befo's a great coach.
He is, but Matt Stafford is like Al Golden going for the blitzes. You can confuse college linemen and college quarterbacks on the blitz, just dialing the blitzes. You're not going to confuse Matt Stafford on top of style.
I was gonna say that's gonna be a 1-score game. I was like, I was gonna say whoever's pluses covers the spread, but they made it a good 1 point is the spread I would make.
Those defensive backs could make it a pick six.
Yeah, easily.
The defense on that Vikings team could do whatever the fuck they want. I do trust the Rams to score more than the Vikings to score. Does that make sense? Like, I trust the Rams on the Vikings D to score more than I trust Sam Darnold to score on the Rams D.
Yeah. I think we just gotta watch how.
Think about the skill players in that. I think they're both great coaches.
I do too, but I think like that's just free. I think Sean McVay beats up on his Matt LaFleur.
I'll tell you what, this is 50-50. This is 50-50. I think it would be 55-45 if it was in Minnesota, but it's not. But it's 50-50. I don't know. That's a tough one. I like both coaches. Is your mic dead?
Yeah.
So no one's heard a fucking thing this guy said for the last 5 minutes. We've been having a full conversation. But yeah, I'll wrap this up. Sorry. I am sorry. No, I want him to shit his pants at this point. Yeah, that's a tough one. But yeah, that's my. If I had to pick 6 teams out of the 14 to make the Super Bowl, it would be Rams, Eagles, or Lions, Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens, and I would be confident enough to eliminate the Ravens and the Rams and say one of those 4 teams is going to make it.
Fair.
2 of those 4 teams are going to make it.
Because like with the
I mean, they're top 2 seeds in both conferences. It's not like I'm fucking, splitting the atom. I'm not splitting the atom over
and
here.
like with Lions and Detroit, Lions and Philly, they pretty much have just a better overall team than we do. So
They have a better overall team than everybody does. You know what I mean? That's kind of why they're there. I could see the Packers beating Philly. I could see the Commanders beating the Bucks, and I could see the Vikings beating the Rams, and they're all whatever. I see every underdog winning. I could see every road team winning. I could see every wild card team winning in the NFC. I really can't see the Broncos beating the Bills. Steelers, Ravens because it's conference, but Steelers should not beat the Ravens.
No.
And I don't think the Texans should beat the Chargers.
Nope.
I think those are a lot more clear cut.
Next round is going to be a tough one for sure.
I'll tell you what, too. I went to that Raiders game on Sunday, Raiders-Chargers. I saw the Raiders play the Chiefs this year. I went to every Raiders home game, so we'll go look up whoever they played, and you could look up who their quarterbacks were that they played against. I saw Deshaun Watson. I'm trying to think of all these quarterbacks I've seen play. By far and away, the best quarterback I've ever seen throw a football is Justin Herbert. That guy is
He was
fantastic.
He was hooping first 4 weeks, whatever, or 4 or 5 weeks, and the next few weeks he was kind of on a dry spell. But I would say this last month, the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been hooping. He needed those wins just to make the playoffs.
Lad got his footing. That's what it was. He doesn't have anyone to throw it to. I was just about to ask, what do you guys think his touchdowns interception is? 23-3. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is unheard of. And 3 of those are drop passes. If you watch his highlights of his interceptions or his lowlights, whatever you want to call them, they're off his receiver's hands and into a defender's hands.
Well,
he should have 41 touchdowns and 1 interception right now.
Yeah.
He's 10-1, so he should be 41. He's 10-1. Touchdown, and he started at 4,900 yards.
What is Burrow? I feel like his is fucking crazy. At least 30.
He has more touchdown passes. He has like 43 to 8. 43 to 8.
I mean,
it's unbelievable.
What a year for the quarterbacks.
No, fantastic. And last year was a shit one.
Yeah.
The best quarterback statistic. Who was the best quarterback statistically last year? That's how bad. Dak Prescott, Billy said, because you can't hear him. That is horrible if Dak Prescott's the best. He should never win anything ever. No. Last year was the year for a quarterback to not win MVP.
It should have been CMC.
CMC.
Yeah.
There's certain years where things line up that usually don't happen. This year is one of those years where a defensive pass rusher or D lineman should not win Defensive Player of the Year. It should be a corner. It should be Patrick Surtain. And it's going to go to Surtain. Last year was one of those years where we always give it to a quarterback. It's a quarterback award, basically. But no quarterback played great. And this white guy that's a running back is the fucking greatest thing we've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like this, here's the thing. Saquon should be the MVP, right? But Lamar and Josh Allen, you know what I mean? Like it is.
Even Joe Burrow, dude.
If Saquon had these numbers last year and didn't win MVP, I'd actually go kill somebody because this guy's he's unbelievable.
No, yeah.
I've never seen this is the best running back since LaDainian Tomlinson and Adrian Peterson. These guys, this guy is fucking unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, the two best running backs behind him skill wise are Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. The league's in good hands. Those guys are fucking great.
Yeah, I think Bijan had a shit year.
He was
last year.
Yeah,
but this year he kind of balled out.
He's in the worst system. He has Saquon's career right now where he got drafted to a shit system.
Where'd he go?
He's at Atlanta.
No.
New York Giants.
College.
Bijan, Texas. And Saquon went to Penn State. When coming out of college, they were the best, next best. They were the best thing and all this, and they have all the talent in the world, but they went to shit systems. I hope Bijan, when his contract is up, signs with like a fucking team that will just the Lions or something. You know what I mean? Like. And Jahmyr Gibbs is in a great system. He's just been splitting touches. Fucking one of the first games without him, he got 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. I mean,
yeah, that's crazy.
He's unbelievable. He is so fast.
He doesn't even.
Yeah, it is. I think it's great. I'm not mad at them for people are like, get this asshole Montgomery. First of all, Montgomery's great. Yeah. And they're like, get him out. It's like, well, Montgomery just got hurt out for the season. That could have been Jahmyr. It would have been Jahmyr Gibbs if he was taking as many hits as David Montgomery was taking.
Yeah.
Montgomery's a great back, too. That's all I got. Tune in the clinch next week. We will be doing that for the LA Armenian smelly Muslim card. Islam Makhachev versus, who do you got real quick off the bat? Who do you got? Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian.
I hate Islam, but
what? I love Islam.
I guess I'm gonna go with Islam.
He meant the religion. 100%.
No, I did not. All right.
Yeah. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Merab Dvalishvili. These are good fights. The Nurmagomedov camp has never had a fuck. Khabib's shitting his fucking pants going, Jesus Christ, I got to coach these two guys to fight those two guys?
Right? Yeah. I'm going to go with the
his other guy's fighting too. Another Nurmagomedov.
Not the champion, but the one.
Yeah.
Not the champion, but the other dude.
Yeah. Wait, you're going with Umar?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going with the Muslims. Dude, I think both of them could win. Merab and fucking Arman. Both of those two fights are the two toughest main and co-main events that we've had to pick in recent memory, as well as if there's one guy Islam doesn't want to fight, if he had to say there's one guy you never have to fight him in your division, I think he would say Arman Sarukian. And if Umar had to say the same thing.
Before, right?
Yeah, when Arman was 21 years old.
Oh.
Islam was also young and early in their UFC careers as well. And it was 2-round to 1.
Oh man.
I think there's two guys that could go out there and defeat Charles Oliveira. Not that Charles Oliveira can't be beaten by Gaethje or Poirier, and those were close fights or whatever, or those were close fights. But two guys can go out there and defeat him, like they have, and it's Arman and Islam. They could defeat him at everywhere they want to.
Even then, dude, like watching that last fight with Oliveira and Chandler, I wasn't impressed by Oliveira because Chandler was off for fucking almost 2 years, and he took Oliveira to 5 rounds. Like,
yeah, Oliveira dominated.
I thought Oliveira was gonna be like easy 3 rounds.
He's also 36 now or something. So
He got knocked down a few times.
I'll tell you what. I love Charles. He'll never be the champ again. Not with that number one contender being Arman and the champion Islam. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The only guy that has a chance to compete with those two at 155 is if Elia comes up. And I'll tell you what. I think he fucking dominates everybody that he fights. That guy is unbelievable. That guy could knock. If you put a buffalo, a great white buffalo in front of that guy, he could knock it the fuck
Who
out.
are you taking, Demetrius Johnson or Ilya?